second. It's Jimmy Spencer third. Hensley is fourth. And Kelly Moore finds himself in fifth. Here comes Chuck Bound on the inside in turn 4. He's working for 7th spot. Here's the 63. Chuck Bound pulling up. Bound making a tremendous run. There's Jimmy Spencer going through for 2nd place. Passing all around this mile track. Look at Spencer. Turn it on. The Moroso car up to 2nd spot now.
Spencer's the type of guy that's going to run the car as hard or harder than anyone early in the race. Here we are talking about, here he comes making a strong move the inside right now, Ken.
Going for the lead. The 2-time national modified champion from Berwick, Pennsylvania. On the bottom, number 20. And on the outside, it is still Kenny Wallace holding that spot. And Hensley moving ever closer. Again, it looks to me like that lead car coming off turn number 2 just hasn't got the handle. And it's number 20 nosing up inside.
Once Spencer takes that position away the inside, he should be able to make the pass, which he just did.
And he brings Labonte with him, and Hensley takes advantage of the situation. He'll drop into 3rd, moving the previous leader, Wallace, all the way back to the 4th spot. Good challenge back on him again. Look at this field. Down the main straightaway. Up over 160, 165 miles an hour.
Spencer was running in the Winston Cup Series, and their team quit running. Everyone felt like he'd be a big force when he moved back into the Busch Grand National Series. He started driving for Moroso, and he's already won a race, the short amount of races they've been in, so he's going to be tough to handle the rest of the season.
Spencer. Mike Wallace in that car, Kenny's older brother. Look at him draw away. Bobby Labonte stays right there. Jimmy Hensley in 3rd. Resendez has made some good moves, and he finds himself now in 5th spot. The front 5 now on the back straightaway. Car number 68 pulls on the pit road. Martin Truex has had trouble earlier. He's in for a moment. Here come the front 3 down. And let's take a look a little further back. Charging through the field, the number 4 car is 20-year-old Jeff Gordon. He's on the chart. He had a front row starting 3rd. The car was too low. He was sent to the rear. He's up to 23rd right now. He had to run the Losers Lead Town last chance consolation race yesterday, in which they only took 2 spots. He was one of them, and he did it from the rear. Here he is working up for 22nd position. Number 4, Jeff Gordon, wheeling up the outside on Jason Keller of Greenville, South Carolina.
Really doing it the hard way, working that outside lane. Everyone protects the inside, and Jeff's got a strong race car. He's just driving around on the outside.
So that's 22nd position now. Continuing to mosey up through the field comes the young star out of Indiana.
While they're doing this, I just saw Steve Grissom take his car in the garage area, so he might be out for the day.
Let's go back to the leaders. Grissom retires at lap 16. Lap chart there, number 16 lap. Grissom goes into the garage area in a channel lock car, which won at Barberville, Florida, the Volusia County Speedway just a week ago. So Spencer stays in front, giving 3.5, 4-car lengths over car number 44, Bobby Labonte in 2nd. How about it, Jimmy Spencer? What's the strategy for the Budweiser 300?
This racetrack here, it looks like track position is going to be the key. It's real smooth, and it seems to be easy to pass on. So, you know, it's a situation that will warrant saving the tires and the brakes.
That's Jimmy Spencer, car number 20. Berwick, Pennsylvania campaigner, who stays up in front now by 2 car lengths over car number 44. And closing in, it's Bobby Labonte another time. Oldsmobile, they've won, what, 4 out of the last 5 races? Stays up in front. The Chevy is challenging for those V6 engines.
Bobby Labonte's got a lot of traits of Terry Labonte. He lays back. You don't hear about him a whole lot. He's sitting there in 2nd place, and now all of a sudden he's closing in on Spencer.
Take a look at 4th, 5th, and 6th. And there you have Kenny Wallace, followed by the red number 79, Resendez, and Chuck Bound. Now, Chuck Bound has put on some very good races on this track. Bound a big favorite in the Northeast. You remember he won his first championship in the Northwest. There goes the Nescafe, number 63, down inside Resendez. Bound time.
He's really been working traffic. We saw him early in the race go 3 deep a couple of times. He's got a lot of confidence in his race car. He feels that he can turn it down under him off the corner. He's made a lot of good moves and really coming up.
That move was up to fifth. I was about to say second. The last 2 times he's been here, the Budweiser 300, he had a second. The fall race, the Chevy 300, he had a second place. Look at these. Spencer, number 20. Bobby Labonte and Jimmy Hensley, all 3 together. Now we cut through the first 20 laps. He's putting lap 21 up on the board. Those are the front 3. Bound is now 5th. Resendez is 6th. And Hutch Strickland has come to 7th.
We see these 3 cars running like this. I think Labonte would have been content to sit there and run second. But all of a sudden, Hensley moves into the picture. He starts putting heat on the 44 car. So now he's got to pick up the pace, and they're in turn going to start putting some heat on the leader. So we're going to have a battle for the lead here in just a few laps.
Bobby Labonte looks him over, willing to wait for the moment. This moment comes at lap number 22. Jimmy Spencer in command. Labonte nipping away at the rear bumper in the Budweiser 300 from New Hampshire.
That it? 1 second, son.
To achieve superior results,
Now? Don't be so impatient.
you need superior tools. Since 1843, a company from New Britain, Connecticut, has been helping people do things right.
Okay. Try it now. Finally.
Stanley.
All right.
You know, someday these tools could be yours.
How about the car, Dad?
Stanley Mechanics tools at leading retailers.
Not getting enough? Feeling unsatisfied? Why be teased by the others when you can go all the way with On Track? With worldwide coverage of Formula One, Formula 3000, Indy cars, Trans Am, IMSA, and NASCAR every 2 weeks, On Track is 100% auto racing from cover to classifieds. Order now 1 year, 25 issues of On Track for just $29.97. Call 1-800-825-8214 now and let On Track deliver pure racing satisfaction.
When the job is tough, you need the best. And when you need the best, you reach for Channel Lock. For the power, the precision. For just plain counting on, there's only one, Channel Lock. Be sure you're getting genuine Channel Lock tools. Look for this trademark.
The look of the leaders, 25 laps into the Budweiser 300 as Spencer stays in first. Jimmy Hensley comes down the inside and charges up underneath Bobby Labonte for second place. Hensley on a roll. Just moments ago, Tony Hirschman spun out of turn number 2, about 400 feet down the back straightaway, gathered it up and kept number 1 right on trucking. There was no caution put out. Only 1 caution thus far in the Budweiser 300 if you're just joining us. That's the threesome out in front. Spencer, now Hensley, then Labonte in those front 3 positions.
It looks like Hensley's ready to challenge Spencer. He got around Labonte. He's really closing the distance in there, so he may be able to move in on Spencer. He was behind Labonte a while ago, and he couldn't challenge him quite as well.
Let's take a look a little further back in the field. Number 79, Resendez in 9th. The 8th is the Jeff Burton car. Pulled up a spot. Burton, number 8, getting to the 10th spot. Mike Rowe in the number 15, mixing it up in there. They've swapped that back and forth. 15 is Mike Rowe, and the 8 is Jeff Burton. So you've got a Busch Grand National North competitor, 7-time champion of the Oxford Plains Speedway over in the state of Maine, Mike Rowe in number 15, right there with Resendez, and directly behind him, the number 8 of Jeff Burton out of the Carolinas in that Oldsmobile, sweeping down to the inside.
Boy, Mike Rowe really got loose coming off that corner trying to get under him, and in turn the 8 car pulled up under him, come down the straightaway and took position away. He's fixing to lose another position.
And here comes Tommy Ellis, one of the all-time best in Grand National Racing out of Richmond, Virginia, the white number 14. Tommy Ellis with 22 Grand National victories. The 8 getting to Resendez now. Turn 3, where the action is. Resendez, Vassament, Massachusetts, on the outside. On the inside is that number 8, Jeff Burton from South Boston, Virginia. a lot of Virginia race fans that like these Burton kids a lot. That battle is about 8 seconds back from the leaders. Leaders continue to be Spencer and Hensley. Rowe in the 15, and here comes Ellis in the 14 beneath Resendez. Remember, as 15 pulls his way up with Tommy Ellis, that is for the 10th position. Mike Rowe is taken over in 10th.
Tommy Ellis can get position there, but off the corner, his car wants to get a little bit loose with him up off the corner, and he's driving back around him out there. He can't quite get in the throttle quick enough to make the pass. Now, on this end of the racetrack, we saw Tommy Ellis right where he's at before, but as they start off of this corner, they can get in here pretty good, but coming off is where he's had a little problem. See if the rear of the car slips out on him. That's where he's been having a little bit of trouble. Got off a little bit straighter line. He might be able to hold him this time.
Martin Truex had hit a couple of times. That 68 in the very first laps now seems to be up to speed. Davey Allison in the car number 28, and there is a story developing there. We got a spinner up into the wall. Goes Resendez, number 79. That's going to bring out the caution as the 11th place car and the number 68, the ones we were just with a moment ago. Martin Truex out of Mayetta, New Jersey, his Pontiac in trouble. Second caution of the day, and that comes at lap 32.
It looked like Tommy Houston might have also barely clipped him as he went around them as they were spinning.
So there you see Resendez, and let's get a look at what happened right here.
There's a 68 car on the inside. It looked like the rear broke loose. He tried to correct. He drove up and clipped the rear of Resendez, and he couldn't hold the car down. Looked like he tried to drive under him with a 15 and lost control.
So Dave Resendez still looking for that first win. He's had 2 second-place finishes in Grand National Racing. Got to look another day besides in this Budweiser 300 to put that together. Resendez up against the wall in turn number 2 as he spun to the top side of the racetrack, and there his car remains, that Oldsmobile. Here's Bob Richards down at the pit control center.
Well, thanks, Ken. I'm standing by with Mike Weed. And Mike, yesterday you ran down Jeff Gordon in the final qualifier. Today, a little bit different story. You're the first driver to drop out. What happened?
Well, what we had on the start of the race, as soon as we shifted to take the green flag, we picked up a vibration there. We just went with it for a couple of laps, and it started to get progressively worse, so we just had to pull it in, take a look at it, and we found a problem in the rear end.
Now, 46 cars started today. A lot of traffic out there. How is the track racing right now?
The track condition is very good right now. Some of the guys just going to have to be a little careful getting down in the turn, get used to the radials. You've got a lot of north guys that aren't used to it. Southern guys have been using it quite a while. They'll know how to deal with it. I think you'll see some pretty interesting racing there.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Mike. Let's go to Dick Berggren, and he's down on pit road right now.
He's down on pit road with Davey Allison, who had started third and slipped all the way back to out of the top 20. He's got a vibration in this car. They don't know what it's from. They thought at first tires, but they've changed none. This is a new engine in the car. It's called Even Fire. It's the first time they've run one, and it's obviously not performing properly. Right now, they're inside the car, changing the ignition system, hoping to get it running on all 6. Davey is absolutely out of it in terms of the speed he's had so far this afternoon.
40 seconds trickling away here on car number 28. 42.9 was that total pit stop. Real problems on car number 28.
Yeah, when you see them just kind of looking around and not going to one specific point in the race car, they don't know what's wrong with it. He's just telling them, I got a problem, and they're trying everything they can, but I don't think they have any idea where the problem's at.
So we have 3 cars being shown out of the race now. That was Mike Whedon out of Haverhill, New Hampshire. The Mullen Pontiac was the first retiree. And we'll wait for an update on what's going to happen here. The 31 car has gone back. The Grissom car, maybe. And 79, there's Resendez being the 3rd car. And they're not even getting it out. They're beginning to show some signs of trying to get that back out here because they're in the point battle and want to stay with it. Nemechek, second in points. Joe Nemechek, who started 33rd on this field, is now up to 20th. We'll be looking at Joe a little later here. He's bound to be a contender before this one is over.
You're talking about some strength in the field. We had a lot of race cars here, but the key was we had a lot of real good race cars. The guys that won races have been starting in the back of this field, and it's going to take them a while to work up through. There was no just give-me race cars here. All of them were capable of winning, and I'm telling you, there's some depth all the way back to the last row.
Well, as Bob Richards was pointing out, for $360,000 to get your attention in Grand National Racing.
That's time to load your car and go to the racetrack when they put that kind of money up for grabs.
Back straight away. Field organizing, 34 laps are complete. Spencer points up the field. Second spot, Hensley. Third, Labonte. Fourth, Down. And fifth is Hut Strickland. This track, some people, Neil, have talked about it and compared it to a Martinsville. They talk about long straightaways and hard on the brakes. The only thing is that when you go into the corner, you're carrying about 30 to 40 miles per hour higher than you would on that famed old track in Virginia.
Yeah, and there's a lot of speed on the straightaway, but they really worked on these corners. They got enough banking to where you can deal with it. It takes a lot of brake, but nothing out of the ordinary. These cars are plenty capable running around this track. When Bob Baer built this thing, he talked to a lot of drivers and a lot of people, and they really got a nice facility.
More thoughts about this facility from Neil Bonnet coming up short. We're getting down toward a start, maybe in another lap or so. There you see this back straightaway. There's a wonderful road course up there. And you're looking down, I believe, in the turn one area of the facility. Not as full there as it was a week ago Sunday, but that will deceive you because it is such an immense place. Bob Richards is standing by with the driver of the channel lock car. Let's get there now.
Ken, unfortunately, we're a little busy down here. Steve, last week, your first win of the season, broke a long winless streak. Some problems out there today.
Yeah, I tell you, the car was running pretty good. Unfortunately, we broke a crankshaft or a rod or something in the bottom end, and it's put us out for the day.
There's been a lot of talk about the radials coming into play, and a lot of the northern drivers haven't spent a lot of time on them. Do you think that's been a factor today? Did you see anybody getting loose out there?
Well, really, we wasn't out long enough to know, but just from practice and stuff, it is a little different there with the radials. Same setup didn't work for us. We had to change the car quite a bit ourselves.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Steve. Better luck down south next week, or in 2 weeks, actually. Right now, let's go back upstairs to Ken and Neil.
The pride of Gadsden, Alabama. His dad, a great race aficionado, and his kid was a pretty good football player and a whale of a racer. All right, we're getting set for a go. Pace car is coming in. Second caution of the day is over. Market is lap 36, and they're going to put him back to the test.
Speaking of tests, let's see if Hensley tests Spencer up front. Hensley was capable of pulling up earlier. Let's see if he can do anything with it.
There's the car, that Tony Hirschman car that we talked about spinning and kept on going. There she is, right there, just between that first and second spot. A bit of a breakout there for Jimmy Spencer in the Moroso, number 20, as he gets that lead. Gets a bit of an advantage. Hensley going to the outside of the one car. Remember, the one is being shown as a lap down. He peels on by.
Boy, now that's something right there. Yeah, I'll tell you, he just drove it on the outside of him and fixed to drive up under him off the corner.
Outside, inside, Hensley is tough. He hasn't set one of these 6 cylinders in a couple of months, and he sure feels comfortable right now. The great Jimmy Hensley in car number 25 looks as great as he has proven in so many past years. Ridgeway, Virginia campaigner leads the Budweiser 300.
Sometimes you learn things the hard way. Everybody's been staying on that inside, and we didn't want to move out. He went around a lap car on the outside and made a tremendous gain. Some other people might try the outside lane now.
Spencer coming back after 46-year-old Jimmy Hensley. Hensley in his 249th spot, and Spencer's going to take it back in turn 1. How about that? Bobby Labonte, number 44, gets into it.
What you want to bet Hensley tries him back in 3 and 4. They're going to swap this thing around a little bit. That's when you're having fun driving one of these race cars. You're talking about 300 miles. The key is to get out there and have a good time, and these guys are playing right now.
Some play. Here's Hensley settling down. He's proven he can pull up and get the job done here. He pulled the trigger right there in turn number 4. Shot Spencer down, then Spencer went back around him. Goes to the top 3. Chuck Bound stays 4th, and Morgan Shepherd's having a good run in 5th.
It was almost like he kind of caught Spencer napping. Spencer knew there was a lap car in between him. He might have eased her down the corner, and when Hensley drove around him, it looked like it woke Spencer up, and he's taking off.
Meanwhile, out of the back of the field, at number 4 car, working on number 15, Mike Rowe. Look at that 4 come on. Jeff Gordon in 13th spot now. And with him comes the 34. That 34 car is young Todd Bodine.
Having to go around the lap car that was up in the front a while ago, it holds them back a little bit.
One thing about it, with those white colors on that Baby Ruth number 4, if you rub up against anybody, you sure get to know about it. You'll see it forever. Mike Rowe in the 15. As the field continues to motor out of turn number 4, we're back with the leaders, and look at Spencer draw away here. Boy, they've got this one figured out.
I think that shocked Spencer when he drove around him as easily as he did. Spencer got the whip out and started popping that thing. He's checking out on him now.
Look at that 4th place car, Chuck Bound in the 63. His popularity in the Northeast is amazing. He spent a lot of time, lived in this part of the country for several years, won a lot of races here. Meanwhile, Spencer, the old Berwick modified campaigner, is looking strong right now. Barroso's First Aid number 20 leads in the Budweiser 300 at New Hampshire.
Eagle One Wheel Care products are exclusively recommended by the world's leading wheel manufacturers.
The game's greatest moments are on Prime Network.
Look at Derwin take it right to the hole. Wow! 54 laps into it, and the differential is not a car length.
Oh, we have got a great race going on.
Deep chase, gets away, may take it all the way. One more man to beat, put it in the highlight book. It's up the line and it's good. Gilbert.
Prime Network, it's pure excitement. Focus, train to react, move, counter move. You're put to the test. Power, battles, finesse, and tennis. The game of precision on Prime Network. See the ATP's Rising Young Stars in one of our nation's oldest and most traditional events, played on the trueness and speed of grass. It's the Miller Lite Hall of Fame Tennis Classic.
Brian Shelton has done it.
Tonight at 8 on NESN, your ticket to the ATP Tour.
We're under caution another time, and it's a Detroit gasket car, Tracy Leslie, that had some trouble out here. Here's the replay.
Here we are coming off turn 2. Looks like he got a little loose up off his corner. Might have got a little push. There's a car back behind him. I can't see who it is, but the back of his car looked like it jumped out from under him coming off the corner.
The yellow car, Dick McCabe, might have been involved in some of that, too, from up in Kennebunkport, Maine. So the 72 is on pit road at this moment as we bring you pictures live again. This is happening. The caution came out at lap 43. And let's go to Dick Berger.
Well, Ken, ordinarily when the caution flag comes out in a major event, we see everybody scurry on into the pits, and that's not happened today, and don't expect it for the rest of the event either. There's a unique tire rule in effect here this afternoon. Competitors are allowed only 4 right side tires once the green flag drops, and 2 left side tires. So they're all kind of squirreling them away and waiting toward the tail end of the event when it's really important to have new rubber on the car. They're going to have to race for this one rather than win it in the pits.
Thank you, Dick. We're watching now as the field gets back to the line. This is the first time, the radial tire story gets told over and over, Neil. But both Hoosier and Goodyear brought tires to this track. I'm wondering if Steve Grissom is there, if he might fill us in. Steve, can you tell us, do you really notice a difference on a mile track like this? Maybe he's disappeared.
What?
Can you hear me?
No. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering, can you tell us if you really notice, do you get a different feel on these radial tires as opposed to the bias ply on this mile?
Well, I'll tell you, Ken, the cars, they grip the racetrack a lot better on the radials than they do on the bias ply. But, it's kind of one of those deals when you get in the corners, it feels so good, and then all of a sudden by the time you go to pick the gas up or something like that, the back end will just jump out from under you really without warning.
Now, we're watching as Dick McCabe, the Irish Angel, is changing some tires here, and we're conversing with Steve Grissom. Steve, you came into this race in 7th place in the point standings. You won last week in that race that was so controversial at Volusia County. Some said the red should have stayed out. You went out there and wait a minute. Am I got that right?
That's right. Yeah. He said he couldn't hear it.
Oh, couldn't hear. The field's going by. Steve, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can barely get you, Ken.
Okay. the point battle is so tight in Grand National this year. I mean, you're sitting here being very pleasant with everybody, but this really has to hurt. You had a chance to make a big move in the standings after your win just 1 week ago.
Yeah, I tell you, it does. It makes it pretty tough. You know, not only is the Busch race is very competitive, but normally we don't start with like 28 to 30 race cars. And up here, I think 46 cars started the race. So that moves you back quite a bit of, what, another 16 spots or so from, you know, where we would if we'd had this luck just on a Busch South race. So it does really hurt us.
We're getting ready to go racing once again. Steve Grissom out of Gadsden, Alabama. His Oldsmobile, the Channel Lock car, now parked for the day. As we come back to green, 47 laps are complete. As they get ready to turn them loose, it'll be Spencer and Hensley and Bobby Labonte, the front three.
Yes, Spencer took off earlier, and we couldn't do anything with him. Let's see if anybody's got anything for him. Now, there's Chuck Bound. On every restart, we see Chuck Bound take a look at that inside. He gets a good jump on every start.
Number 63 Bound. An Escapade car back there in fourth spot. Right with him comes that black and gold number 92, Hutch Strickland.
We got right behind here. We see a car diving inside. It's Burt down on the inside under Hutch Strickland. They got together just a little bit, getting in that corner. And you almost want to say, okay, go on by and let me get behind you. But the problem is somebody else pulls in that hole. So it's hard to let one car by without losing more position.
And look at fading down way to the bottom. Number 21. That's Morgan Shepherd. I love to watch Morgan when you get in traffic. He is a great traffic driver.
They don't want anybody else to work.
From 23rd up to 5th in that black number 8.
I don't know what Steve's doing.
Number 8.
No, I think it's all set. Hey, Steve, thanks.
That's Jeff Burton in 5th spot. And here comes Morgan Shepherd's number 21, nosing up under Kenny Wallace for 7th spot. And
speaking of nosing, that's about as much up under Kenny Wallace as you can get. There comes Jeff Gordon on the outside.
From out of the rear, number 4, way out back in today's start, Jeff Gordon. Look at this battle.
Looks like a heat race. 2 abreast. We're about 6 rows back right there. There's a big pack of cars.
7th place is what they're gambling on right now. Morgan Shepherd to the inside. Flanking him is Kenny Wallace. Now you see Gordon trying to make the outside line move. The white number 4 of Pittsboro, Indiana's Jeff Gordon right there. What a dandy scrap. Turn 1.
Kenny Wallace doesn't want to give up that position. He feels like if he can get on back around Morgan and get to the inside, he can hold him off. But Morgan's not going to give up anything either.
Superlative job by Kenny Wallace. Gets him back in front of the great Morgan Shepherd. But here comes the youngster. 20-year-old Jeff Gordon piles it on the outside. And number 15, the red and gold car of Maine's Mike Rowe, stays right in the hunt.
There's Gordon fighting his way. He wants down that inside lane. He's been hung out there for about 3 laps, and he's wanting to do anything he can to get back to the inside. He feels like he can move on up.
He didn't want to mess with Mike Rowe. Guy Rowe has got about 20 years experience, and he's a fighter. He's a toughie.
And there's Morgan, got right back up beside Kenny Wallace again. They're swapping it back and forth every lap.
Ooh, the 21, Morgan loose for just a moment. Tad squirrely. That's all that the 36 needed to make that jump on the outside. Kenny Wallace back there again.
You can look through that windshield right there and see Morgan working the wheel. He's got white gloves on, and you can see how hard he has to work. It's hard work, but it's a little finesse to feed that thing up off the corner, not jerk that wheel around.
And hey, here comes Robert Presley into the fray. Car number 59, Presley attacking. The 14 car is Tommy Ellis out of Richmond, Virginia, and that Chevrolet. The 4 sideways for a moment. The Ford of Jeff Gordon loose up in turn 3. Back down the main straightaway. This Titanic struggle for 7th spot in the Budweiser 300 at New Hampshire International Speedway. Laps complete, now 54.
Jeff Gordon feels like if they'll just one or the other go on, he can check out with them, but they're running side by side. And look what a pack of cars is grouped up. When you run 2 cars side by side like they're doing now, it slows the entire pace down, and look what a group of cars are coming in behind them.
We've been watching this car number 4 of Jeff Gordon. This is an awfully good race car. He won at Atlanta with it earlier this year. He also won at Charlotte, the richest race ever won by anybody in this division. He's got the thing set up very loose. Most everybody here is having trouble with a push, but this ex-dirt car racer likes to have the car sideways, and he has been hanging the tail out coming off the corners all afternoon.
What an impressive run by number 15, Rowe. But he's really got his hands full because here comes the 59, Presley. Three-time winner and the only three-time winner in the 17 races to date in the NASCAR Busch Grand National Competition. Presley won at Darlington. He won at Dover. Won at Rougemont, North Carolina. Watch that black and gold car, number 59, the Alliance car. That is Presley, and he's looking good. Back comes Morgan Shepherd in number 21. Remember, this is all for 7 spots. It's still Spencer, Hensley, and Labonte running 1, 2, 3 up in front. What a scrap.
We saw Hensley make a move right here on the outside earlier to take the lead. And I think Kenny Wallace and some of those guys on the outside have found you can race out there. You don't necessarily want to move out there, but they've been made to do that. And I think they're finding out now they can run on that part of the racetrack.
You keep your eye on that black and gold car on the outside. Robert Presley trying to find a little running room. The Asheville, North Carolina campaigner trying to pull around Mike Rowe. Here comes Morgan Shepherd diving the 21 right back on the bottom of the racetrack. I'm amazed at how well you can run this racetrack side by side. Remember how we talked at the opening, and you and I were discussing that on this track where you're under such heavy braking at the end of the straightaway, no matter how you gear them, it's pretty hard to get in there side by side. Forget it. Here they are. And look at this group. There you see the 75. That's Butch Miller in another struggle a little further back on the field. I think that's about 17th spot at the present time.
That little bit of bottleneck up front with those two guys side by side is really stacked up. There's Rowe. He lost it coming off the second turn. He was right in the middle of that battle. We've been watching him, and he lost it coming off turn 2 and went right down and hit the inside wall. The caution's out.
So the caution is out for the 4th time today. 3 lane changes among 3 drivers thus far, and this caution is brought out when Mike Rowe gets loose in car number 15 and spins out of the second turn. The Turner Maine campaigner is back underway. We'll have more on his story in a moment.
I drove literally every car in the same class. It boiled down to I wanted a Geostorm.
Guys like a girl that knows how to drive a stick.
There's 140 horses in here. Can you... Hello? Horses.
The cockpit's laid out like a jet.
You don't have to be a race car driver to drive a Storm, but you sure feel like one.
If this car had wings, it would fly.
Now's the time to get to know Geostorm, right around the corner at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
He wonders if I even noticed that visual perfection produces unbelievably deep, rich, glowing color. An intense, dazzling, brilliant shine. I do. Visual Perfection by Eagle One, the ultimate auto polish.
First-place Scranton Wilkes-Barre Red Barons swoop into McCoy Stadium tomorrow night for a dogfight with the second-place Paw Sox. Don't miss a minute of this live AAA action starting at 7, exclusively on Nesson, your ticket to Pawtucket Red Sox baseball. The baseball season is swinging into the dog days of summer, and the Red Sox find themselves in need of a late-season surge. But if years past are any indication, you can never count out the Old Town team. Nesson Sports Desk, the morning edition, will keep you up on the Sox bid for another late-season run of the division title. We'll catch you up on those late West Coast finals, plus serve up all the thrills from the courts to the greens. So tune in every weekday morning, anytime between 5 and 9, and let Nesson Sports Desk, the morning edition, bring you the world of sports.
Mike Rowe's Buick that did a Gilhooly out of turn number 2 and brought out another caution here. We'll see it in replay. Stays on pit road.
He was in this big pack of cars, and we didn't see the first of it, but it looked kind of like he might have slapped together with a car on the outside and really came running down and going to hit this with the rear of the car. Pretty hard lick. That's the reason the car was tracking so out of line. It really knocked everything out of line on the car, and he's on pit road, and they've got a lot of work to do.
And after that incident, he went down into turn number 3, and the car steered right across the racetrack and up into the wall. That was about 8 miles an hour, so it is badly bent, and they're trying to get it back in shape to get him out here another time. Several of the leaders, including Chuck Bound, pitted, and several others didn't, including Spencer, Hensley, Labonte. The lap situation, we're now showing 62 complete when they come back to the line this time.
You know, Morgan Shepherd came in. There was several of the leaders came in. Average speed of 92.7. They're running some quick laps around this thing right now.
But the cautions are bringing the overall record down this afternoon. This looks a little more like that first. Remember all the wrecks they had? Labonte got upside down. Big crash coming out of turn number 2 late in the going. We're having that kind of a day at the present time. You see the safety crew continuing to work on this mile track.
I tell you, when we saw these cars pitting, a few of them came in a while ago. Dick Bergen brought up a good point when that tire changing thing. If you pull them off now, you've got to think about the end of the race. We're just 60 laps into a 300-lap race. You've got to worry about storing them away, like he said, like the squirrel storing away hickory nuts. You've got to worry about having something at the end of the race. And they're going to have to rip their head to have good tires on those cars at the end of the race.
Looks like we're getting ready to get back underway. Beautiful day here. This lovely bucolic setting up here in New Hampshire, but it's a barn burner. We've got a boiler going down here on the asphalt. Take a look at the top 5 in the event as we get ready for, let's see, they've got the light back on the pace car, another lap before they turn them loose. Spencer first, Hensley in second, Labonte third, Jeff Burton up to 4th, Hut Strickland is 5th, and just behind them, Jeff Gordon has come into 6th place this afternoon. Great run by him. Caution still being shown the field.
I think what happened on that thing was that after he came off the inside the track, he went back across and he drug a lot of stuff way down the back straightaway, and they just now realized it's out there and they're cleaning it off.
That's down midway in the back straightaway, almost at the midpoint of the backstretch where they're doing this work. You see some of the rest of the course here. Nice view over there on the bank, midway down the backstretch.
Sitting in their campers watching. That's not a bad way to do it. Out front for little picnic tables. You know, nice setting for this racetrack.
We talked in the opening about this facility and as a multi-purpose motorsport facility. The 69th annual Loudon Classic, one of the great world motorcycle events, was in here, and they had about 25,000 folks for that weekend. The Indy cars come here, have a rousing success. They had 1,500 members of the press from all over the world here for that. And today, this, you know what this leads up to is, when are they going to have a Winston Cup race here? How do you think they'd look out?
It's got to be on the way. I'll tell you, as good as this facility is, I can't help but think the Winston Cup cars will be here. And while we're talking about multi-facility, if I had my fishing rod, when this thing is over, I'll tell you what I'd be doing. I think I see a big bass right there on the side.
That's environmentally protected area right there in the infield.
Yeah, they said they couldn't put any campers or anything in the infield. They've got to keep that as a wetland area. But I'm not so sure the Ducks would move over just a couple or 3 campers in there. We need some more people in the infield.
Here's Dick Bergman once again.
I'm in the pits with Mike Rowe. He's one of the really popular local competitors that just took that wild ride down the backstretch. And they are right now using a torch to try to straighten out the front end of his car. Usually they set these things to within 1,000th or 2, and I'd guess at this point, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch is going to be about it. This car is really torn up. It was a brand new car before this weekend, but in practice, somebody forgot to put the hood pins in, and the hood went flying up and bonked the roof. This thing looks like it's been upside down. Now the front end's all out of alignment. Last year, Road totaled one here. He said he's not having a whole lot of fun in New Hampshire. He'd rather go back to Maine where he wins all the time.
And he does, too. You turn him loose up at a place called Oxford Plains, we can pretty much forget about the race.
I don't think there's ever been a race car driver that hasn't had the hood fly up. You say, how can that possibly happen?
Where did it happen to you, Bonnet?
I've done it in practice a couple. I was at Talladega testing one time, and the hood flew back, and I thought I'd close my eyes more than normal. I couldn't see anything. Caved the roof in on me.
We'll be back with more of the Budweiser 300. Neil Bonnet, Ken Squire, topside at New Hampshire International Speedway.
Now, a coast-to-coast savings event, the biggest in our history. Announcing the National Jeep Sale at your Jeep and Eagle dealer. Save over $2,900 on the rugged Jeep Cherokee, or up to $900 on the freedom-loving Jeep Wrangler. Now, the vehicles that fit in anywhere fit even better into your budget. So hurry in today, because while our vehicles know no limits, our sales do.
Get the advantage at your New England Jeep and Eagle dealer now.
Don't miss a minute of the ring excitement when NESN presents Fight Night at the Forum, Tuesday night at 8 on NESN, your ticket to the best in boxing. Every week, the Coors Sports Forum presents interesting and intelligent guests discussing what they know best, sports. So join host Al Troutwig this evening at 5:30 for the Coors Sports Forum on NESN, your ticket to the best in sports talk.
Well, if you want to go racing, stick with us. That's what we're about to do. We'll come back at lap 67 under green in the Budweiser 300 from the 1 mile New Hampshire International Speedway. After another caution period, we're getting set for a go with Jimmy Spencer, Jimmy Hensley first and second, Bobby Labonte third, Jeff Burton fourth, Hut Strickland fifth, Jeff Gordon sixth, Tommy Ellis seventh, Houston eighth, Mike McLaughlin is ninth, and Billy Clark in 10th as they get ready for a go.
In that soundbite a while ago, Jimmy Spencer said track positioning meant more than anything else. He's passing up that option to pit on the caution to still lead this race, and he can't go but about 40 more laps on the field, so they're risking another caution coming out.
Boom! Into the wall goes number 1, Hirschman on the start. He flies across the track. He got tangled on Spencer. The lap car seemed to move up on him. That's going to bring out another caution. Right there on the jump. Hensley trying to move under Spencer. Now they're going to race back to the line. Remember, you've got a car down on the inside of the main straightaway, and as they come back, caution is out. Spencer will lead. There's the number 25 of Hensley in second, and Bobby Labonte in third. I'm sure they're doing some hand signals in there, indicating to each other that they got a little bit of a problem facing them down here in Tony Hirschman's car number 1 out of Northampton, Pennsylvania. The Oldsmobile lies up against the inside wall.
That was a weird set of circumstances there. That was just on the restart on the straightaway they tangled up.
I'd sure like to see that again. That was really strange. There's Hirschman's number 1.
As we saw Spencer coming down the front straightaway back to the line, you see him throw the car around. He knew he got up against him on the right side. He's throwing the car sideways to see if he had a low tire, so he'd have an option of coming in this lap. He must feel comfortable with the car, and I don't think he's coming in. The car took a pretty good lick in the outside wall, the one car. The inside wall, I'm sorry.
Field waiting now. You see some of the Ruth crew getting ready here. We'll be going to them in just a moment.
He should be smiling as good as their car's moving up through the pack.
Jeff Gordon
really gained on him.
Well, here you are with Jimmy Spencer first, Hensley second, Bobby Labonte third. Let's go to Dick Burke.
And I'm with Bill Davis. He owns that car Jeff Gordon's driving. Where do we go from here? Are you on schedule?
Yeah, our deal's fine. Car's handling perfectly, being real patient and getting to the front and trying to save our stuff. We'd like to run just as long as we can before we get our first set of rights, you know, so we can...
How long is that?
We can go about 112 on gas.
And that's the plan. Go to wait?
Yeah. I hope it works.
A lot of strategy down here in the pits. Everybody wants to wait as long as they possibly can, including these guys.
Mr. Davis's car being shown in 6th position on the field, Neil.
Yeah, and as long as those leaders don't pit, you know, they've kind of got a game plan. They want to go as far as they can. You heard them say, save our first set of tires. When you have a tire rule like they do in this series, they've got to be concerned with that more than fuel. And it's a good thing, too, because I'm telling you, these things cost a lot of money, and it really helps this series by limiting the amount of tires that each team can use.
About $1,300 a set. Let's take a look at how Hirschman's car number 1 ended up in this predicament, right in the main straightaway on a restart. We'll get our expert Neil Bonnet focused in as to exactly what happened when Spencer brought the field down for a start.
Here they come down the front straightaway right at the start-finish line. For whatever the reason, it looked like the left front on the one car and the right rear of Spencer. I don't know if they were trying to close each other together or what, but they got together, and it shot him down to the inside. And he's lucky with all those cars he didn't get hit crossing traffic. Spencer's not the kind of guy that'll give you any extra room. He's going to use up all the racetrack, but that was unusual to see that kind of wreck on the straightaway.
Not a nickel's worth will he give you. Now, there's the Oldsmobile of Hirschman, the universal joint car, lying up against that wall and still there after considerable time. They have a wrecker down there for it at the present time to haul that one away. But it brings us to this situation, a total of 5 caution periods in the early going. I mean, this gets right back to 2 years ago in this event. Interesting situation. Meanwhile, Spencer stays in front. He may have got a little bruise, but nothing more serious on the flank of that car, the right side, as he brought the field down the line.
I tell you, that really, the guys in the pits have really got the load on their shoulder. Now the driver's riding around. He just sits there and waits for them to say pit, don't pit, stay out. And the guys in the pits have really got to start using their head, because we're at lap 70 right now, and they can't go but 30, 35 more laps. So somebody's going to have to make a call, say bring those leaders in or stay out. If they stay out and it stays green, there's no guarantee you're going to have a lot more caution. If it stays green, then they got to pay the price for not pitting right now.
Among some of those guys, one of those guys was Chuck Bound, who pitted 15 laps ago. It'll be interesting to see how the race develops. And if that gamble was there, there's Neil Bonnet's plane right there.
He's headed to the lake, right out here with him. He's got my fishing rods.
You know what? That plane won't fly as fast as your bass boat. We'll be back with more in a moment from New Hampshire.
Excuse me, do you know what stock options are?
I wish I did.
When is the weak dollar good for business?
Good?
I don't know. The world of finance and investing can be pretty confusing unless you call for this, the Wall Street Journal's video guide to money and markets. It explains the markets in clear, simple English and brings them to life. This exclusive 30-minute video is free when you call for 13 weeks of the Wall Street Journal for just $37, over 20% off the newsstand price. Subscribe to the Journal and get a daily view of the whole world of business and how it affects you. Information you know you should know. Call now, and you'll be ready next time someone asks you, are munis always a safe investment? I'm not sure.
Call toll-free 800-336-1111 for 13 weeks of the Wall Street Journal and your free video on money and markets. That's 800-336-1111.
Get an insight to the stars with the Sharp Sports Interview, hosted by Ann Liguri. Today at 5 on NESN, your ticket to the best in sports.
Working lap 73 as Hirschman's #1 is brought off the track after this unusual incident on a restart. Here it is again.
You know, it's not uncommon to see wrecks in the corners, but here's one down the straightaway. It looks like as they're coming at there, Spencer's up a little high right there. He gets into the left front of the one car, and I don't know if they were just shoving each other around. They'd bumped on further back down the track, but there definitely was contact down the straightaway. And I don't know how he crossed all that traffic without getting hit.
Well, the lucky break went to Hut Strickland, who almost had him right over the bow.
I don't know whose fault or what happened, but I saw both of them were waving at each other as they came back around the next lap, and I don't think it was a real friendly wave.
Those were in Pennsylvania friendly waves?
No.
The state of brotherly love? Hey, take a look at number 92. There you have Hut Strickland, that Oldsmobile, the Stanley car, doing a fine job, and he's been in between those two battles that we've been following in the early going. Strickland's another driver you hear. Of course, he drives for Bobby Allison, Winston Cup Racing. What would be the toughest problem with bringing the Winston Cup race into this race from a driver's standpoint?
Bringing the cars here?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it'd be a problem. I think the facility is really suited for the Winston Cup cars, and I think the drivers that have been up here in the Busch Series would really love to come in and run a Winston Cup race.
All right, down to the line they come, and on that break, down to the inside, car number 8 goes shooting up the bottom. That is Jeff Burton, the number 8. Remember, his brother Ward Burton hit the wall back in the 6th lap. He's back and running out here with the field, but he's 27 laps behind.
And there's another Jeff made a move around Labonte, getting the nose up under Jeff Burton. So two Jeffs are side by side, and one of them is fixing to get moved back or not. Jeff Gordon has moved into 3rd place.
Here's the top 30 in the race at the present time, as you see Jimmy Spencer. Car just a tickle squirrely as it came off that 3rd turn. He picked it right up. Hensley stays 2nd. But the story for the moment is the performance of car number 4, Jeff Gordon.
Sometimes a squirrely car will get the attention of a driver. Spencer just starts pedaling a little bit harder when his gets squirrely. It doesn't seem to affect him a whole lot.
We're at lap 75, and Neil, 33 of the first 75 laps have been under the caution flag. Keeps the field tight together, but let's hope we get some real running for a while.
Here's Jeff Burton. He got moved over just a little bit ago. And here's Tommy Ellis right up under the inside of him, trying for position.
It's a battle for 5th.
There's Hut Strickland, we were talking about him. He's just kind of been out of the picture all day, but he's right there in the hunt. Every time we look at him, he's in position. At the end of the race, he can be in good shape.
That's the 5th spot. 5th, 6th, and 7th. The black and gold car back in 7th strictly. Here are your 3 leaders. It's Spencer in 1st, Hensley in 2nd, and from 44th position, the white number 4, the Baby Ruth car of Jeff Gordon is 3rd. And then comes Bound. What a job he's doing. Take a little further back. There's that 6th car. Tommy Houston's having a nice run again, up in 9th spot. Look at Houston in the 6th. Close up on number 9, Joe Bessie in 8th. Directly in front of him, in 7th, Tommy Ellis.
Bud Strickland just passed him going in the first turn. Got around Ellis, so he's moved up another notch.
Mike McLaughlin in the 51 is right behind Houston. McLaughlin's won 3 races here. Modified, Busch Grand National North competition.
Whoa, Bessie just made a real stout move from the outside, just dove to the inside. It looks like he's going to take that position.
And indeed he does as he swings underneath Tommy Ellis. For 7th spot, Bessie in the number 9. It's the AC Delco colors up for the moment. Here's Houston falling into the grip of Mike McLaughlin. Out of Waterloo, New York, originally at number 51. The 14 car, Ellis. The 6 car is Houston, and then the 51. At 7th, 8th, and 9th. Going back just a little further here, Neil, there's Billy Clark out of Farmington, Maine, at number 32, and Craven, who won the 300, the fall race here last year, currently leads in the rookie standings for the Busch Grand National Series. This guy lives right here. He's from around Manchester and Concord, New Hampshire. Great racer.
Well, he lost a race car last week with Volusia County. It looks like they got a good race car for here.
Ricky Craven out of Concord, New Hampshire with the DuPont colors. Closing in another time on number 32, Billy Clark for 11th position. These two have faced off many times in that Busch Grand National North Series. Clark in the 32, Craven in the 99. Craven has aspirations of moving up, getting himself a Winston Cup ride from time to time. He is a very strong racer. He reminds you in looks and poise of Pete Hamilton back at the end of the 60s going into the 70s when Pete drove for the Petties and won Talladega and won Daytona. And guess who's alongside? Here he comes, your pole sitter. Right back in another time. Wallace there. Craven in the 99, getting passed by Wallace.
He just drove around him on the outside. Early in the race, it looked like Kenny's car faded with him a little bit. Looks like he's coming back to him now.
Take a look at Houston, trying to fend off Mike McLaughlin. McLaughlin, you would think that he would make a great midget or sprint driver. He's a stock car driver, great modified champion, has been national modified champion. He's got that look of a sprinter about him.
Well, Kenny Wallace's car is working a lot better right now. He's been moving up on these guys. He got around Craven and really running in on his 2 cars in front of him.
McLaughlin in 9th, Houston number 6 in 10th, and in 11th is Wallace. Craven is in 12th. Let's go down to Bob Richards at the pit control center.
Thanks, Ken. I'm standing by with Tony Hirschman, who was just involved with that incident a little while ago. I don't know if we will have a replay of it, Tony, but you might be able to explain to us exactly what happened there out on the track.
Well, we come off pretty close, just about side by side on that restart. Right there, you can see it seemed like he just turned right on me. I don't know if he thought he had me cleared or what, but, you know, we were a lap car, and one of these times we were hoping to get our lap back, you know, either when them guys would have pitted, as long as we...
Well, we've got a problem out here right now, Bob Richards. That's number 3 that's just gone on the wall. While you're explaining that one, Dave Branscombe out of Northwood, New Hampshire, his Pontiac has taken the concrete up here in turn number 4 and brought out still another caution. Boy, talk about yellow fever. We've sure got it today. What's that, the 6th caution of the afternoon? They can't get more than 10 laps in before they're back in trouble out here.
Well, I almost keep questioning why no one's pitting the lead cars. Maybe they know this is coming. I don't know. We're getting to the point now where somebody's going to have to make a decision, do they pit or not. But these, as long as they keep having these cautions, the guys are making the right calls by staying out.
Branscom's car up against the wall, and you can see where it trucked along They repainted that wall last night, and they'll have to repaint it tonight, and they do that around here. Whatever happens one day is certainly covered up the next. Reminds you of Daytona. And now the leaders are coming in. Here's Dick Berggren as the leaders of pitting, Jimmy Spencer among them.
Here's Spencer. The right front work is being done by John Phillips. Wayne Nessenbaum is doing the right rear. Kenny Kraus is at the jackman, and Dan Slike is the fuel. Tommy Houston is pulled into the wrong pit in front of Spencer. Now he's out of the way. Wow, Spencer with a great stop until he stalled it. Spencer stalled it. Still a fine pit stop at 16.76 for Spencer.
This happening at lap 85. All the leaders. There you see Davey Allison, the 44 of Bobby Labonte, the 36 of Wallace, lead Chuck Bound's car. They're all in.
What you have to keep in mind now, we just watched them put 2 of their 4 right side tires on. We've just been 85 laps. They've got a long way to go with just 2 more spare tires for the right side. So strategy later on, they're going to have to put lefts and maybe save the rights for the very last stop. Davy's crew looks like they've had a problem all day long, and they're just really not in a real big hurry. Things giving him trouble, and they'll put a little bit of bite in it to help him some too. Taking some bite out of the car must be a little bit pushy with him. They turn it the opposite way.
Things not working well for the Daytona 500 champion and a day's driver, Dave Branscombe, coming out of car number 3 that shuffled into the wall. Turn 4 was where it happened.
We were just talking about the speed. Ken, you get a lot of speed down these long straightaways, and he really got in the wall back right in the middle of the corner.
Let me correct one thing. Among those cars that pitted, 63 was not there. Chuck Bound stayed out. Bound now is being shown back in 5th with Joe Bessie first, Mike McLaughlin in 2nd, Kenny Wallace in 3rd, Billy Clark 4th, Bound 5th. Let's see if any of those guys come on pit road here at Loudon, New Hampshire.
General Nutrition has a key to help unlock your body's potential. Open the door to maximize a new you. Help push your workouts to new levels of performance. With Twinlap Gainers Fuel 2500, get 2500 low-fat, high-powered calories per serving. No other gainer can match it. Gainers Fuel 2500, get the key to help unlock your body's performance. GNC, the authority in sports nutrition products.
Eagle One Wheel Care products are exclusively recommended by the world's leading wheel manufacturers.
5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs. Were they talking about this one or the patent-winning split fire? More power? You decide. Put a leading European spark plug up against split fire. More direct firepower means more horsepower. 5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs. Split fire. More power or your money back. Get world-class split fire performance at leading U.S. retail stores nationwide.
Well, these are the tires that just came off Jimmy Spencer's car. He had been leading before that pit stop. Look at this. Here's where he just touched Tony Hirschman, and I mean just touched. You can barely see the contact. Now, interestingly, Dick Moroso, that owns this race car, says that he's got a reputation for being overly aggressive, but Moroso says he is ever so smooth. Watch him carefully, and Jimmy Spencer is quite a race driver. I'd say these tires prove it, wouldn't you?
Vic, you're right. You know, there's such thing as being aggressive to a certain point, and I'm telling you, he gets everything that race car's got. Sometimes you get criticized for that, but he wants to win races, and he runs that car as hard as he can.
It was interesting. I heard Richard Childress say much the same thing. A lot of people put the knock on Spencer, that he is over-aggressive. And Richard Childress was one of his defenders, as was Travis Carter, and I don't think there's anybody I respect more than Travis Carter. I'm really sorry you're not seeing Travis's car out. I hope that isn't long before Travis is a team back.
Spencer, when he came back out, he's in 18th place, so he's going to have to work to get back to the front. But you keep in mind, some of those cars in front of him have not pitted yet, so he should move on up as they pit.
All right, they're getting organized. We're showing, what, 88 laps complete out here? There have been 2 previous races. Tommy Ellis won it in 1990. Kenny Wallace flew to victory in 1991. The record for the race, as the green comes out, is 109 mile-an-hour average by Wallace last year. They're going to get a shot out of that today. Here's Wallace dropping to the inside on that restart. He tries to thunder through the bottom, get himself a spot. Field is safely away. There you see Wallace nosing down to the bottom of the racetrack and finding third spot. Joe Bessie puts number 9 in first. McLaughlin, number 51, is in second. Here comes Wallace right there with him as they peel off into turn number 3.
Well, you mentioned Thunder. That reminds me of one of the great racetracks in this part of the country, Thunder Road.
Yes,
look what a scramble right here.
Excitement.
3 abreast. Something's got to give here a little bit to get it back down in there. Let me tell you, Wallace has really improved on his car earlier. They worked on that thing a little bit. He's got it a lot better. We heard Steve Grissom say that they were here last time with a different tire, and he had to change his car for the radials. Kenny Wallace has worked on his car and got it a lot better now.
That 41 is the former Busch Grand National North champion from North Ferrisburg, Vermont, Jamie Obey, who for some time drove for Alan Avery, having a pretty good run out here. He pulls up on the outside of McLaughlin and is giving us a stout performance as we get up toward lap 91, just completed lap 91, and the 41 car of Obey having a good run. And look at this batch. The 21 car, Morgan Shepherd, shoots to the inside under Joe Nemechek, goes to the outside as he tries to wheel around Tom Peck in the 19. Just in front of him out there is that number 34. That's Todd Bodine.
And there's Morgan Shepherd in the 21, red car, jumping out on the outside and made a strong move.
It's back in there for a 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Look at 4 abreast coming down through here. They're jumping around. They're still a little bit open, and one guy moves in the other corner, getting defensive and spread out with him and block the line. But boy, they've got to get it. I said earlier, we need one lane. We're running 2 abreast around this racetrack now. The track's getting better and better.
Hensley finally in second. Here's Clark in the 32, closing up on Joe Nemechek. 87 Nemechek's had a pretty terrific year. And here's Bessie's number 9, continuing out in front and getting a pretty good lead over Wallace in second. Take a look at this lead. There's the first spot, and there comes Wallace in second. It's about 15, 20 car lengths between first and second. A surprise is Joe Bessie of Scarborough, Maine, and his Pontiac is having a great ride at this interim at lap number 93.
That's the first time we've been talking about tires all day long. Bessie has the Hoosier on, and Kenny Wallace has the Goodyear's on, so we'll see which one of them runs good in the long run right here.
You know you're in the north when you see that a snowplow manufacturer as one of the sponsors. Dick McCabe out here at number 0 is sponsored by the Fisher Snowplow Company. Now that you would not have to deal with in Alabama.
No, but I could probably get the franchise.
Oh, into the wall goes Jimmy Spencer in number 20. Rocketing across the racetrack backwards and slams the wall. Spencer in number 20 brings out the 7th caution of the day. And in it also is number 4, 20-year-old Gordon. Tries to fire that one. It's not coming back to life. A hard hit on Jimmy Spencer's car number 20. And here's the 91 car also involved, Clifford Allison out of Hueytown.
I'll tell you what, Spencer hit a ton. Looks like Clifford's car's messed up real bad in front, but Spencer really backed that thing in the wall. Looks like he gave the okay sign. See if we can get a look what happened.
Take a look at Spencer on the outside.
Spencer and Hut Strickland got together. It looked like Spencer came down. Hut was right on the inside line. They got together. And I don't know where these... Okay, there's Clifford going around backwards. I don't see the 4 car.
Jeff Berry's car, the 22, also getting into that one.
Okay, there's the 4 up front. 4 car was down under Hut Strickland.
White car on the bottom. You've already got the 20 car in heavy contact.
That was Clifford up there that got into it with the 4. Oh, here's Spencer. He's a little upset about something.
Jimmy Spencer walks away from that Moroso car. He was making his move back to the field. He made his pit stop and crunches one hard, as does Gordon. Although I want to get a word with Jimmy Spencer as to how he saw that one. Strickland was down on the bottom. Might want to look at that one again, Neil. And here you see Jimmy Spencer with that look in his eye. Not a happy camper.
No, usually when a driver's walking back like that, you can tell who he's upset with, but the field went by and Spencer just kept his head down, kept walking.
96 of the 300 laps are complete as Jimmy Spencer takes, talk about the longest walk in sport. Folks, this is it. got a great race car, the potential to win it all, and instead you end up hoofing it back. We'll talk with a car owner about what happened in turn 1. We'll find out from Spencer about this incident in the Budweiser 300 shortly.
He wonders if I even noticed that visual perfection produces unbelievably deep, rich, glowing color. An intense, dazzling, brilliant shine. I do. Visual perfection by Eagle One, the ultimate auto polish.
Splitfire earned a United States patent. Splitfire doesn't look like any other spark plug. And the patented Splitfire doesn't work like any other spark plug.
5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs. Quicker in the quarter mile. A 4.8% gain in mileage.
There's nothing like a Splitfire. You'll get more power and more mileage, or your money back. Get the guaranteed Splitfire advantage at leading automotive stores from coast to coast.
Hey, Mike, hand me my channel lock pliers.
Tommy, give me that plier over there with the blue handles. What kind of pliers is that? These are channel lock tone groove pliers. My dad uses them on his race car, too.
For the tough jobs and the small jobs, reach for Channel Lock, the handiest plier of them all.
Hey, guys, anybody seen the channel lock pliers?
Channel Lock. Be sure you're getting genuine Channel Lock pliers. Look for this trademark.
The first-place Scranton Wilkes-Barre Red Barons swoop into McCoy Stadium tomorrow night for a dogfight with the second-place Paw Sox. Don't miss a minute of this live AAA action starting at 7, exclusively on Nesson, your ticket to Pawtucket Red Sox baseball.
Back with you at New Hampshire International Speedway with Neil Bonnet and Ken Squire. Down trackside, Dr. Dick Bergman, and we're getting ready to go to the pit center in just a moment. And I think we'll have a story to tell there from Jimmy Spencer, who turned the Moroso camp around when he won at Myrtle Beach about a month ago in a great run, 3 weeks back actually at Myrtle Beach. He came home victorious for the Moroso team, and today has this big incident which has pretty much taken a rear clip and maybe more off car number 20. For sure the rear clip is gone on that car. The 35-year-old Spencer had been leading. He qualified in 4th, working his way back through the field, and he's making his way now out of the First Aid Oldsmobile over to our pit control center. There's Hut Strickland's 92 that was also involved, and we should point out that Jeff Gordon has gone back. There's the 20. Jeff Gordon has gone to the garage area, and there's the 20 being towed back in a sad shape of disarray. Let's find out more on this story and go to the pit control center.
Thank you very much, Ken. Standing by with Jimmy Spencer, who obviously isn't all that pleased at this point in time. Jimmy, you were running well out there. What happened?
Well, you know, it's one of them bad situations. You know, we pitted, put right side tires on the car, and there's no doubt we had the best car here today, and just got hit behind right there by, I guess it was a 92 car, just a racing accident, you know, and a lot of debris up on the corner, and you couldn't stop the car quick enough, and it just did the rear tail clip in, and I just feel bad for the people with dailies. You know, the car's been running real great. You know, I would like to win this race today, but you can't win it on the hook.
Now, which groove is running better out there today? Did one portion of the track feel better, or could you run all over?
I've tried both grooves, and my car is just as fast either way. I seem to be a little bit better off of 4 than anybody else up high, and off of 2 down real low. And you know, I think the next car in line to win the race could be the 25 car if everything goes right for them. But you don't know with the way they're driving today.
Well, Jimmy Spencer, one of the favorites out of the race. Right now, let's go down to pit road and Dick Berggren.
Well, actually, I'm in the garage area with Jeff Gordon. They've got the right side of the car jacked up. They're trying to fix it, can they?
We're not going to be able to fix it for it to run as good as it was. I'd say that Babe Ruth Thunderbird was flying today. I mean, to come from that far back and up to 3rd place and be in contention and win it there at the end, I think, you know, we're riding once we got up there in the top 5, and we just want to be up there and be consistent and stay with the leaders. It's real unfortunate for something like that to happen. I mean, there were 2 lead cars, or cars that were, you know, capable of going right back up the front, battling back there and 15th to 18th position, and Hutch Strickland and Jimmy Spencer just got together. It was one of those deals, and they spun right in front of me. And I thought I was going to make it through. I was going all right, and all of a sudden somebody hit me from behind, and then people just started hitting me all over the place.
Well, they're still in the garage area here. No chance to win at all. They're down laps, but they're not going to give up. They're going to pound away at this thing, try to get it straightened out, and get it back on the racetrack.
He won at Atlanta, he won at Charlotte, but he will not win in this 300 at New Hampshire. Young Jeff Gordon, who moves on to the Hendrick Racing Stables and Winston Cup Racing a year down the road. We're getting set to restart, and it's Bessie's number 9. Kenny Wallace in the 36 for second. Chuck Bound in fourth, Todd Bodine. And you heard Jimmy Spencer give the nod. He says Hensley is the guy to look for. Hensley has looked so good, and he is such a good racer. You know, he's very timid, very retiring, but when he gets in one of these cars, he thunders. He's such fun to watch.
What's hard to imagine is that 25 car that he's driven in the Busch Series. You never see a sponsor on the side of it. As good as they run, and then he moved up and started driving in the Winston Cup for Cale Yarber, and just immediately put the car up front in contention to win races. He's quite a driver.
We've had 48 laps of caution, Neil. The race record, 83 laps, was in that first year, 1990. That's not exactly the record we were looking for today, but we may get it anyway.
We might set a record for slow this time.
101 are complete. We're a third of the way through. The green is out, and on the brake, Bessie is in first. The Obie car, number 41, is being shown a lap down. Remember, we talked about him a moment ago. We see him there in third. There's the 36. Kenny Wallace shoots right down to the bottom. Obie gives him room and lets him move away.
Bessie's able to hold his own. He's out front, and he took quite a few challenges, but he's been able to hold the guys off.
Well, here you see Wallace. This is north against south. St. Louis, Missouri rider. Bessie stays up in front of that car, number 9.
Look at Chuck Bound. Ooh. All day long, we've seen Chuck move to the inside and pass cars. He's got I'm not so sure Chuck's car is close to being as good as the 25 car. He's just been trying to work at contention all day long.
The Auto Palace, number 9 of Joe Bessie from Scarborough, Maine. Another one of those graduates of the old Oxford Plains Speedway up there in the general Portland area, about an hour out of there. Stays in front, but here comes Wallace trying to take it away on the inside. Bessie fights him off another time.
Kenny Wallace really sails the car off in the middle of the corner. Seems to be right in the middle of the corner on him. Bessie's able to pull him right up off the corner.
Bessie currently second in the Northern Busch standing. Already has one win this season. Continues to keep this Auto Palace, number 9, humming. There's Bound in the 63 moving right in. This is the same race that Bound drove last year. Identical. Stays right there, waits his time. Remember, he led a lot of this race toward the end, but we never saw him lead, I don't believe, until lap 175, somewhere in there a year ago. And then he really started to count for something.
His car's made some of the most impressive passes, been able to move low and high. Boy, there's Hensley and a bunch of them 3 abreast coming off the corner.
And one of them is Morgan Shepherd, the 21, as they try to sort it out 3 wide down the back straightaway.
And Todd Bodine on the outside out there.
And Robert Presley in the 59 as they fight for that spot.
Boy, just a little bit out of line, and he lost about 3 positions. Bodine dropped back several positions there when he got caught outside. They're battling all the way back to the pack.
Of course, the cautions have kept them bunched up, but even so, the racing on this racetrack, as you see it on television, is so exciting. They're always together, and there is a lot of room to pass, to maneuver out here. Well, here's the 44, dropping down to the inside. That's Bobby Labonte heading his way. And back in front, take a look at number 9, Bessie, again, under the attack of Kenny Wallace.
Kenny Wallace has really been working hard to try to get around him. He's turned his car down there, but he just can't quite get off the corner as well as Bessie's doing. And Chuck Bound is sitting there just hoping one of them make up their mind what they're going to do. He probably feels like he's got the best car now.
And he has the patience of Joe. Bound is not one that will throw it in there. He'll wait his time. Around Obie comes Jimmy Hensley. Obie being shown by our count as a lap down.
I wonder why I say that. I've raced against him quite a bit. There's his little brother coming in the shot.
Back up front. Oh!
little bump right there. Tag
Nose job. Another one. Little nudge. Oh, and as they bang on that time, Bound decided he'd try the outside. Wallace tries the inside. Talk about full contact auto racing. Look at Wallace. After playing thumper out there in the back straightaway, nose down to the inside, and he moved, 63 loose, slowing down as if he may have even cut a tire, and something comes off a car just in front of him. It is Wallace losing the whole nose off the 36. There's caution out. Yellow is out. There's debris around the racetrack. There's all kinds of pieces came off Wallace's car after they nudged each other.
There was a brake duct that was hanging off of the car. He knocked the nose panel loose and tore a brake duct off of it. That problem started on the two. When they got together, they hooked up and hung the cars together and snatched the nose panel loose on the 36 car.
Well, you saw Bound back up serious coming down the main straightaway. Morgan Shepherd thundered beneath him, as did Hensley. So, here we are in another caution. At lap 110 comes caution number 7. More shortly.
Our coverage of World Team Billiards continues as Team America takes on the Philippines. Coming up at 6 on Nesson, your ticket to the widest variety of sports.
Every Wednesday, let Nesson and Jim Ball be your guides to some of America's finest fishing holes on American Angler. Join Jim as he travels from coast to coast, hooking everything from bass to catfish. So catch Jim Ball's American Angler, Wednesday afternoon at 5 on Nesson. Your ticket to the great outdoors.
Pure power, blinding speed, and death-defying excitement. The Chevrolet Motorsports Hour. This mixture of racing is lethal.
Thursday night at 10 on Nesson, your ticket to the best in motorsports excitement.
It's the best of NHRA Sportsman Drag Racing. The Autolite Sportsman Challenge goes north of the border to Montreal for the Le Grand National Molson Challenge.
Thursday night at 7:30 on Nesson, your ticket to the best in motorsports.
Earlier this season at Rockingham, this guy dominated the race before he was involved in an incident that spun him out late in the going. But for right now, Joe Bessie has come on pit row in that Auto Palace car and comes back on after service. Take a look again. Now, see Bound in the 63 pitch out of there.
Okay, now here they get together right here. They tag coming down straightaway. It's going to rip the nose panel off the 36 car. Chuck Bound got loose behind him, and then a bunch of things started happening. They tagged, and there goes the entire nose panel off the front of Kenny Wallace's car.
That was in the main straightaway. They had bumped on the back straightaway. Now, take a look at this. This is under caution. The pace car is on the track. Here's Wallace coming up, and they're having a little discussion, a little summit meeting among the top drivers here.
Pulled over. They bumped right there, and then they come along, and Kenny Wallace gets behind him, and then I think he gets a little rap in the rear. Yeah, there you go. That's sometimes that doesn't help, you know. There's not anything up there to bump with.
Remember we talked about the north-south? Well, the blue-gray game is being played here today at New Hampshire International Speedway.
That car is not going to be near as effective with that nose panel off of it, even though there's a lot of roll bars and material out front. But that aerodynamic downforce is not there, and the car will not turn with that nose panel off of it.
Down at Riverside Park in Agawam, Massachusetts, Joe Vesey picked up a first Grand National North victory in the year 1989. Wallace fighting to win this race, get it for himself another time. Remember, he won it a year ago.
Look up under the left front of the car we was looking at, the 36 car, and that's part of the brake ducts and stuff that was dragging. We'll see if we can get a shot of it again.
There's the 9 car.
There's Bessie. He pitted and put on new tires. So he's, you know, I don't think he has enough damage to be concerned with. Okay, on Kenny Wallace's car here, we can see that entire nose panel gone. And I saw some of the brake ducts, that little round hose pipe we saw dragging earlier fell off, and he's got some of that still up under this car. He's going to have to be careful. The flag stand is really looking at the car. NASCAR is taking a strong look at it. They could possibly make him come in. See that part dragging right there? They're just not going to let you run with a lot of that stuff dragging on the car for the safety features. It could fly off and go up in the grandstand. So there's a chance they'll bring him in, make you correct some of that.
There you see the leader. It is Wallace. The 9 car has pitted, so he's out back. Wallace wants to keep going right behind him in second spot. would be car number 21, Morgan Shepherd. In the third spot would be Hensley on this restart at fourth and Benson. And they're going to want to bring Wallace in. There's the pace car bringing him down the back straightaway.
Yeah, that's strictly for safety. You know, I know how Kenny feels. See, look on behind the left front tire. You can see some of that hose dragging under there. And they're just not going to let you run with some of that stuff with a chance of it. And here they are in his pit talking to him, explaining why they're going to have to come in.
Let's go to the pit control center.
Well, thank you very much, Ken. We have our split fire update here. And at this point in time, Joe Bessie, who's won here before, currently leading the race. Kenny Wallace, the defending Budweiser 300 champion, in second place. Morgan Shepherd in third. Jimmy Hensley and Bobby Labonte rounding out the top 5. Spots 6 through 10, Robert Presley, Ricky Craven, the local favorite here, Todd Bodine, Jeff Burton, and Mike Stefanik right now. So let's go back upstairs to Neil and to Ken.
114 laps complete. The 36 stays on the track. Kenny Wallace may have had a bloody nose out there, but he still wants to fight.
Yeah, Bessie, you know, he went in the pits. That 36 car is leading the race now.
Here's that bumping up in turn 2, Neil.
This is some of the stuff that initiated. This was earlier on when they started to pass. We saw they got together right there. Chuck Bound took a look at the outside, but then the car really swung out. This tapping right here was done going down the back straightaway. The aftermath happened after this came on around on the front straightaway. They were paying each other back, and they tore up the race cars.
Let's see. Pace car is coming in. There's the leader, and directly behind the 36, Wallace in front is the 21 car. There you see Tracy Leslie being shown a lap down up on the outside in the 72. The blue car is Hensley as they come back to the line. Into fourth comes Bobby Labonte. Chuck Bound is in fifth as they hit the first turn.
Now, the 36 car of Kenny Wallace with the nose off the front of it is not supposed to turn, and it's not supposed to run down the straightaway. That wood and all that aerodynamic design going in there, we see Morgan Shepherd going right by. This is really going to cripple the 36 and what it's capable of doing with that much damage to the nose.
Out in front for the first time since Richmond back in 1991, Morgan Shepherd, and now here comes Hensley down to the inside. Here's Hensley going for second spot.
Kenny Wallace's smart move right now is to get directly behind the car, get as close as he can and just follow someone, and it virtually takes the front of his car way out of the picture of what it's doing. He can get it behind someone, he might be able to survive.
Backing up now is Wallace. Bobby Labonte to the inside and thunders through. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Steve Bird, the crew chief for Kenny Wallace. Are you dropping that far back because of aerodynamics, or is there more?
There's no doubt. The nose is gone here. I don't think it was too good a driving by Joe Bessie, but Dirt Del Pontiac was flying before that. We've been sitting there just waiting for the right time, but now we lost the whole nose, and it's going to be pushing pretty good. We're just going to try to have to hang in there and see if we can't get a nose on it a little bit later.
Well, Bessie's got a little bit of a ding in the back end, but you're fine with that here. You're not fine with a bent-up nose, Neil Bonnet.
No, Dick, and we heard him say that they would put another nose. These teams bring a front section, and it's one piece. If they get a caution the right time, they can come in and stick a whole nose piece and take some duct tape and probably get him back into where the cars drive good again.
And we've had a caution every 5 or 6 minutes in this affair. Presley down to the inside, the only 3-time winner this season. Beginning to count. Tracy Leslie stays right beside Chuck Bound at number 63. The 63 car is in fourth. Tracy Leslie's number 72 is a lap down. Back up front, Morgan Shepherd in the 21. His last Busch Grand National win, 1988, Indianapolis Raceway Park. Here he is out in front, the former national champion, Morgan Shepherd, and a car owned by his wife, Sonia. Looking good.
He's got the car working. Morgan does his own stuff with his own cars there. He doesn't have a, you know, a lot of the teams have the big factory stuff with the motor stuff, and Morgan does a lot of his own work, and he's got the car working well.
Well, and that's the story on both of those cars. Look, no sponsorship on those quarter panels. Hensley and Shepherd love to race, keep working on these cars. This is their hobby. This is what they tinker with. And now, for $360,000, they're going for it.
Yeah, in the day of $1,000 for a set of tires and $30,000 motors, it's very rare that you see cars with no signs on the side of them. And these guys are putting the bill themselves.
Morgan Shepherd and Jimmy Hensley. Hensley leading in the Rookie of the Year standings in the Winston Cup ranks. Driving for Cale Yarborough these days in the Trop Arctic number 66. Looking great here at New Hampshire. Morgan Shepherd stays in that first spot, number 21. Morgan, how spooky is it running on this track with a high number of relatively inexperienced super speedway drivers?
Well, and plus a lot of these guys, it's the first time on radial tires. So we'll just have to watch it because they don't realize how quick these cars get away from regular tires. And like you said, a lot of these guys don't have the experience that some of the rest of it. So you just kind of got to watch it because the track is wide, but the racing group is not very wide.
Say, what a grand affair. Down at turn number 1, two veterans, two great champions. Jimmy Hensley in the 25 and Morgan Shepherd giving this crowd that looks to be in excess of 30,000, maybe up towards 40, a real show as they continue their battle for the lead. Meanwhile, in the catbird seat, Bobby Labonte sits third, about 20, well, say 8 car lengths back, if it's more appropriate. In fact, you'll see him right there. And then there's a big interval back to the 4th place man, number 63, Chuck Bound. But hey, we're not halfway in this event. Chuck Bound is going to be around.
Yeah, all day long he's been good, Ken, and he's been kind of conservative. Every time there's been a little bit of problem, he rolls out of it, he takes care of the car. He knows there's plenty of time left to get this car back up front.
Robert Presley is in 5th with that number 59. Then it's Ricky Craven 6th, Jeff Burton's in 7th, Todd Bodine is in 8th, Mike Stefanik is in 9th, Tommy Houston is in 10th, and Hutch Strickland's back in 11th place. Looking a little further back through the field, there's McLaughlin closing in on Butch Miller. That's Midwest meets East out there in that fight. More from New Hampshire shortly.
Of the big picture. There's a place for you in today's Air Force Reserve.
He wonders if I even notice that visual perfection produces unbelievably deep, rich, glowing color. An intense, dazzling, brilliant shine. I do. Visual perfection by Eagle One. The ultimate auto polish.
For every athlete who trades months of training for a moment of glory. For those who have a dream to break out of the pack, take the challenge, and be the best. And for all that see the path to victory as a lifelong adventure, we salute you. Prime Network, we deliver the dream.
Working lap 128 for the lead. Morgan Shepherd in first. In second, Jimmy Hensley right there. The Ridgeway, Virginia campaigner closes in on the Conover, North Carolinian. A little further back, Bobby Labonte stays in third. And it's a little further back than it was the last time we took a look at this picture. Pulling away by 2 or 3 car lengths. Morgan Shepherd. Mile track like this, how effective is a draft?
Well, it helps them, there's no doubt about it. The problem you get into, the draft will help you down the straightaway, but when that guy behind you sticks his nose up under the back of your car and loosens it up in these flat corners, so it's almost a trade-out. You'll get some help down the straightaway where that guy gouging you in the corner, you lose what you gain down the straightaway, so it's almost a trade-out. A guy in third back there really doesn't have any disadvantage by being there. There's not a lot of help with 2 cars.
Here's Hensley moving to the inside. Hensley making a run for the lead.
I don't think you'll see Morgan give up this lead. Morgan will drive on the outside of the racetrack. If he can possibly do it, he's going to try to battle back on the outside. He's not going to let it be easy for him to do.
I think for a lot of racing fans, for their nickel, you get these 2 guys together in a war like this, and it's as good a battle as you could hope for. These are 2 of the very best, and certainly 2 of the very best in the underrated category.
Coming up on a lap car, that could be a factor. What happens right here is a lap car, he moved over and gave him plenty of room.
Look at Morgan using it outside. He taking that RPM up just a little more. You have to twist them a bit, getting into 1 and into 3.
It's nice to go to a racetrack where there's more than one lane to race on, where you can get to a place like this and we'll see some side-by-side racing. That's what the fans come to see.
Hensley right back down to the bottom.
A lot of times, Kim, if you're driving a car like that, you'll just grit your teeth. So if he goes so far, I'll just mash it a little bit further than he does. And you'll see somebody stick it out a little bit deeper down the corner. And here comes Morgan right back on the outside. They got a lot of...
You ever look over and say, you got to be kidding?
Now, at this time right here, there's not a lot of looking over to the left and right. You're kind of looking ahead, trying to plan what's happening in front of you. Just like this here, they came up on a lap car, and it required them to get back in line a little bit. But I'm telling you, Ken, people don't realize that's when it's fun. When you're racing somebody like that, these two guys have a lot of respect for each other, and they don't mind racing side by side.
Well, Mike Berry may spoil their day. Watch him. He's right in the bottom of your frame. Right about now, he's losing. You saw him down there in the bottom. He came down the main straightaway, spewing smoke, and hopefully only that. Dropped to the inside and got that car off the track, and there's no caution out. There you see it. Mike Berry out of Burlington, Vermont. Great racer from the Green Mountain State. Seen him a lot at the track you referred to earlier. Fine campaigner.
He pulled right over the inside, did a good job of getting the car out of the racing lane.
See, he had the banner of one of the Prescott racing cars on the side. In New England, that's a pretty famous name in racing. Prescott's had a lot of great racing cars.
Looks like Hensley's kind of loaded the gun again. He made one shot at him. He said, let me try him one more time. Here's an opportunity the driver takes. He saw that Morgan have to go outside. He said, well, I'll just slip up under him. But the 15 car slowed down too much. Ooh. And look, here coming Labonte on the outside now. That little bit of hesitation, falling that lap car corner, cost him some position there.
Just that few less RPMs, and it puts Bobby Labonte in the 44 right up on the rear deck, boosting there that beautiful red and yellow Slim Jim number 44.
I'll be the first one to tell you that I was amazed that a 6-cylinder motor can run as fast as a V8 around these racetracks. But the key to them is keeping them wound up. As long as you keep the foot on the floor and these things wound up, they're as good as any V8 motor you'll ever see. The problem is when you get out of them, it takes them just a little while longer to wind back up.
There you see the front three. That's the interval among them at lap 134. And now you have to see all the way back to Chuck Bound in fourth. They come down the main straightaway. There's Chuck in the number 63, just making it into the corner, and he's closing up a bit too.
Got his car working real well, and you know it's hard to gauge how he does because he uses his head as much as any driver here. He'll work himself into the picture, and then we saw a while ago some people slip in front of him. He falls back almost out of the shot. He's going to keep that car, try to keep it in good shape. There's Morgan. We got a car. We had a car coming off the second turn tagged over there. Nemechek got in the back of one of the lap cars.
Picked it up and kept on going. Still no caution on that one.
That was a caution that didn't happen. They barely missed it.
There's Robert Presley running in fifth spot in car number 59.
He sure has been peaceful today. All the races of late, he's been right in the middle to win the race, and we hadn't heard a lot from him, but the day's not over either.
He is about a third of a lap back from the leader, Morgan Shepherd. Here's Dick Berger.
Well, racing is supposed to be 9/10 preparation and I guess about 2/10 perspiration. This is the nose that came, or at least a piece of the nose that came off Kenny Wallace's car. And right behind me here, they're working on the new nose that they're going to have to put on the car. They've cut the bottom of it off, drilled a whole bunch of holes in it. NASCAR's told them you're going to have to come on in and put a real nose on it. There it is. It's going to look a little funny, but they're going to have it on it here in just a few laps. It's been a lot of work in the pits this afternoon.
Dick, they're going to might as well bring that thing in because he just went a lap down. I feel like just as soon as they get that nose panel ready, they're hoping for a caution. I see the black flag in their hand, and he's thinking about putting it out on him. And there they go. They just put the black flag out on Kenny Wallace.
Well, he's dropped out of the top 18 for sure at this point, as Morgan Shepherd's number 21 continues to lead. Hensley stays in second spot.
Morgan's getting a little bit of breathing room now. Hensley's back about 8 car lengths. If that's breathing room.
Remember, it's been since 1988 with Busch Grand National that Morgan Shepherd has won a race. Now driving for the Wood Brothers on the Winston Cup scene here. Now there's the 6th car. Remember the 72. The lead was showing out as a lap down. Tommy Houston in 11th. The 72. Tracy Leslie is a lap down.
Here they are working on the car in the pits.
They're going to send him out, do a little more preparation. See the problem, they'll try to come up with a remedy next time in, here in the Budweiser 300.
Eagle One Wheel Care products are exclusively recommended by the world's leading wheel manufacturers.
It all starts with how you move your feet. The approach. The takeoff. Use your feet. Make tracks. Step into it. Put your best foot forward. It's all in the feet.
I dig shoes like that.
Footwork on Prime. It's no small feat. Focus, train to react, move, counter move. You're put to the test. Power, battle, finesse, and tennis. The game of precision on Prime Network. See the ATP's Rising Young Stars in one of our nation's oldest and most traditional events. Played on the trueness and speed of grass. It's the Miller Lite Hall of Fame Tennis Classic.
Brian Shelton has done it.
Tonight at 7 on Nesson, your ticket to the ATP Tour.
Working lap 143. Now exactly 144 as he hits turn 1. There's Morgan Shepherd with the lead, and there's his advantage over Jimmy Hensley in second spot. And he is drawing away, has been over the last 5 laps. Getting down to the midway point in the Budweiser 300 at the New Hampshire International Speedway. Further back in the field, Joe Bessie has been making a tremendous run in car number 9. Remember, he was a leader for a bit out here. Well, all of a sudden, he's getting himself back. There's third spot, Bobby Labonte in the 44. And Chuck Bound in the 63. Stays in fourth. That's how the front are positioned around this 1-mile racetrack.
Chuck Bound in 4th place.
Here's that battle. Car number 9. That's Tracy Leslie. That is a lap car, but Bessie has been running in 13th position. Now the 14 car has dropped off the track. Ellis has just come in. And this car here, this number 9, has been knocking cars down as fast as anything on the racetrack. He is closing in on Joe Nemechek in number 87 for 11th position. Nemechek, 41, Jamie Obey in trouble. The North Ferrisburg, Vermont campaigner and former Busch Grand National North champion got his hands full. There's the 81, another Northern campaigner, Barry's car. We saw that one in trouble just a few moments ago, is going back to the garage area. Caution is out. Mark it down as the 10th or 11th. I believe that might see what we get here in total cautions. Sure is getting up there. We had a pretty good run for a while, and Morgan Shepherd proved that he had the field covered in car number 21.
That's about the biggest lead we've seen anybody pull out on the field.
Well, this will accordion them all back together. And there's the nose. That's the brake that Wallace has been looking for.
Worse than that, that's a Lumina nose. See, it says Lumina on there. That's a Chevrolet nose they're fixing to put on the front of that Pontiac. Evidently, they didn't have a Pontiac nose.
All in the family.
And they're going to stick that on the front of there and see how it fits. I don't know what you'll call it. Ponty Lumina, or what would it be after that?
You don't want to call it Lumina Ponty.
No, we have to be careful what we're doing here. But they're going to have to get a lot of duct tape and some pop rivets out and get the nose on that car.
Bobby Labonte electing to pit here, as does Presley. And the 36 is in for that work on the nose on the guy who's set on the pole. Dick Berger.
Well, ordinarily, when you take your car to a body shop, you hope to pick it up in 2 or 3 weeks, but I got a feeling this nose is going to be on in less than a minute. We'll see how well these guys do. The pit is absolutely prepared. They've had the 200-mile-an-hour racing tape, the pop ribbons. Look at this. We got 2 air guns trying to drill the holes in there, taping it on. What a lot of work going on trying to get Kenny Wallace back out. The point of this, points. This guy wants to win the championship, and the better he can do in this race, even if it's in the back of the pack, the better probability he's got that he can score well in that championship. They're doing pretty well on this nose, aren't they?
I'll tell you what they got to do. They got to, at this speed racetrack, they're going to have to get it attached a lot more than they would on a short track. There's so much air force on the front of the car, they're going to have a lot of rivets in it and a lot of duct tape, or it'll blow off a lap or two around the racetrack.
How much pressure on the nose of a car on a mile track like this?
Again, I tell you, they're running probably 130, 140 down the straightaway here, and it's no different. You stick your hand out of the windshield, out the window of the car, and feel how much pressure it is. But luckily enough, it's going to be ramming it back against those the front fender flares on the car, and maybe it'll stay on there a lot better. If it was a rear panel, it'd rip it right off.
Well, here he is, thumping right down pit road to stay in front of the pace car and get back out. I'm sure they'll try to get him back in, do a little more work here on car number 36 as he nips out just in front of the pace car. Kenny Wallace of St. Louis, Missouri, set on the pole, won this race a year ago, and looked like he was in great shape till he and Joe Bessie had a big confrontation that ended up with the nose gone on Wallace's car. More from New Hampshire in a moment.
First place Scranton Wilkes-Barre Red Barons swoop into McCoy Stadium tomorrow night for a dogfight with the second place Paw Sox. Don't miss a minute of this live AAA action starting at 7 exclusively on NESN, your ticket to Pawtucket Red Sox baseball.
Get a double dose of motorsports excitement Thursday night with Wheel Power at 5:30, followed by On Pit Road at 6 on NESN. Your ticket to the best in auto racing action.
Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. I've got a special offer on out-of-print collector baseball cards. Now you can own 200 genuine collectible baseball cards for the unbelievable price of $9.95. It's a collector's dream come true. Each set contains baseball cards going as far back as 1986 and including Topps, Donruss, and Upper Deck that are no longer being printed. Over the years, the value of baseball cards has skyrocketed, and while no one can guarantee baseball cards will go up in value, we can guarantee each set will have star, superstar, rookie, and all-star cards. So take it from me, Mel Allen, at this price, these cards could be gone. 200 genuine collectible baseball cards, no duplicates, mint condition, only $9.95 each, plus $2.95 postage, limit of 5 per household. So get cracking. Call now to order.
New Hampshire International Speedway and this glorious Budweiser 300. Talk about competition. We've had it all. Now, the cautions now add up to 9. Total of 9. The record is 12. That's the one they may be getting here. And as they get ready to go, it'll be Morgan Shepherd up in front. Hutch Strickland will be in the second spot right behind the car number 21. There's Shepherd, your leader. And there, right behind him, you see the black and gold, number 92, which is Hutch Strickland. Then running in the third, as they come down for the green, this time will be number 34. Todd Bodine is there from Chemung, New York. And Ricky Craven's car number 99 is now being posted. The winner in the fall race. That's it, the number 99, the purple and white car. He is being shown in fourth. There you see Davey Allison, a lap car. Tom Peck is in fifth. There have been a lot of pit stops here. And then in sixth, it's Mike McLaughlin, ready to go green in the Budweiser 300. As they come down 4 wide for the start into turn 1. And leading the way is Morgan Shepherd. Hutch Strickland in second spot.
Morgan's car slipped out.
And it's Hutch Strickland taking the lead for the first time. That is the 9th lead change among 5 red. Back again on the outside comes Shepard. Morgan Shepard won't give it up. Strickland wants it back. Turn 3. Hutch Strickland on the inside. And the Stanley car for the moment has it. Shepard drops to the bottom. Looks for a hole. Not there. What belongs to Hutch Strickland. Alabama driver leads now. In that second spot, North Carolinian Morgan Shepard. New York's Bodine is in 3rd, and New Hampshire's Ricky Craven in 4th. What a race.
Boy, they had some buildup on their tires from riding around under the caution, and when they went in the first turn, Morgan's car washed out on him, and Hutt was able to get up under him and take the lead.
As they come back this time, they will have come. They get up, and we are what, at 152?
152.
Halfway of this race under caution, but we're back flying once again. Look at this battle up in front. For the moment, Hutch Strickland has the advantage. Let's talk to the man who created this track that is so competitive, as proven with the motorcycles a month ago, the Indy cars last Sunday, and certainly with Busch Grand National today. Down to the PCC.
Thank you very much, Ken. We're with Bob Baer. Bob, you put your money where your mouth was on this track and put a lot of that money up, had it built. 50,000 fans last weekend for the Indy race. Another great turnout today. You must be very excited.
Yeah, we're real happy about it. It's gone real well for it. We've been pretty lucky.
The big question, it seems, with all the fans turning out is New England sports racing fans, are they going to be able to support a Winston Cup race? Do you think you'll be getting a Winston Cup race in the near future?
Well, I can't answer that. We'd sure love to have one, but I wouldn't say it looked that good right now. But, you know, we could handle it if we could get one, but I don't know what they're going to do down in Daytona, to be honest with you.
When do you think you'd have an update on that situation, Bob?
Your guess is as good as mine. I can't find anything out, and we may never get one. We don't know.
Well, you're doing a great job so far, and I think all the racing fans that we're running into certainly appreciate it.
Well, thank you. We appreciate the racing fans, too.
Great. Let's go back upstairs to Ken and Neil.
Yeah, that's one thing about the Bears were the folks that started the Oxford 250 and all of that. And we understand that Bear had a little lunch yesterday with Les Richter. And let's hope that they had a nice, wonderfully comfortable lunch. Here's Davey Allison's 28. It has not had a good day. Caution has just come out. Mark that as the 11th. Here's Dick Berggren. He can give us more on this story of the plight of Davey Allison.
Well, they've been looking all day for the vibration, Ken, and they may just found it. Red Farmer just came to me and said, we found that vibration we were looking for. What was it, Red?
Yes, laying out in the middle of the racetrack in 2 pieces, the drive shaft.
Well, there you have it from the horse's mouth. Red Farmer found this problem, and there it is in turn 1, a nice white drive shaft that used to be in Davey Allison's car.
So Davey Allison's car, number 28, which has not had much fun at all today, now finds itself back in the pit area, and I think they'll probably button it up from here.
Look at Red Farmer there. I tell you what, I just hope that when I get Red's age, I'm jumping around the pits having a good time just like he is. I tell you what, he's quite a racer. He still runs about 2 or 3 nights a week. He's ready to go racing.
I think he's 70.
I don't know. Red won't tell you how old he is, and I don't blame him. He looks younger than I do. That's not saying a whole lot. I've made too many sudden stops.
Neil Bonner, you're talking about Red. Let me tell you how active the guy really is. Last Friday night in Alabama, guess who won the feature on the dirt track? Red Farmer. About age 65 is as good a guess as I've been able to get out of the guy.
That's a Red Farmer guess.
Yeah, and he's probably a little older than that, Ken.
I'd hate to have been hanging since he was 65, but what a racer. He runs the dirt. He works over there for Allison. I mean, he's about 20. He never gets past 30, does he?
No, I tell you what, I don't think anybody could ever enjoy racing as much as Red has. Every time I've been around him when he's won races. I've been there when the motor's blown half into, and he took 2 records loaded on the trailer, and he never changes. He just can't wait for the next race to come up where he can go racing again.
We'll be back with more from New Hampshire International Speedway and the 3rd annual Budweiser 300 on Prime right after this.
We take you now to Olympic kayaking.
Man, why can't they stay with the boxing? All right, swimming.
Let's check out the sharpshooting.
But I want to watch all the swimming. He's gonna score!
We'll be back after these messages.
Not now! I want to watch basketball! Oh.
Now, with the Olympics triple cast, there's no cutting away unless you want to. Just dial 1-800-OLYMPIC or your local cable operator, and you'll get 3 cable channels of non-stop action in its entirety, beamed to you from Barcelona 24 hours a day. So you get to choose what you want to see: boxing, basketball, track and field, and more. Call now and you get 70% off the one-day price of $29.95. 15 days of Olympic action for less than $9 a day. An incredible savings.
You saved me.
The Olympics triple cast. Call your local cable operator now.
They come from across the globe. Ballesteros, Weisskopf and Company, testing their course savvy on the eve of the British Open, the European Tour, Bell's Scottish Open.
Tonight at 9 on Nesson, your ticket to the European Tour.
New Hampshire International Speedway, near Lake Winnipesaukee. A lot of folks just enjoying the day, but a little differently than you might in some parts of New England this afternoon, particularly if you're here at New Hampshire International Speedway. That's where the action is if you're a racing fan on this mile track out here in just at the southern tip of the White Mountains. Gorgeous place. There's 250 islands, they say, out in Lake Winnipesaukee, and I think if these drivers are out there with a boat, they'd run into at least half of them by this point.
They're coming down pit road. Jeff Gordon, they've worked on that car. He's got to get back in there for as many points as he possibly can, and he's got to run in again.
Well, they've knocked noses and tails off them. We're getting ready to start again, and there you see Gordon down 64 laps to number 4 coming back out as Hut Strickland leads the pack. Morgan Shepherd in second. Tom Peck now finds himself in third spot. The McConnellsburg, Pennsylvania driver of the Oldsmobile, number 19, is your third place car in the restart. Little pit shuffle. Hut Strickland leading in first in the Stanley, number 92.
You know, we saw it on the last restart. Morgan's car didn't go quite as well on the first lap or two, and he lost a good bit of position on that start, so it takes him a lap or two to get his car running.
And the 4 car is going right back on pit road. Jeff Gordon not comfortable the way things are with that one, so he'll pull it back on pit road and do some more work. It's 92. Strickland stays in front and draws away. Here's Chuck Bound in the 63. Noses down the inside. Bobby Labonte just in front of him. The 8 car very much still a contender in this one, Jeff Burton. We're just past the halfway point in the event. There's the 8th place car, number 8. Jeff Burton. Look at Nemechek in the 87. Extending that car back up into the peak lights among the top 10.
They're all getting to be a little used up. We said one of them got a little nick here and there. Fenders pulled out on them. They're doing a little, getting them roughed up a quick bit today.
Mike Stefanik in the number 74, having a great run. Nemechek closes in on him. Mike's number 74 is being shown 9th spot at the present time.
We were talking earlier, Joe Bessie, he moved up through the field. He pitted on that last thing. He's back in the rear again, so he's got his work cut out for him to get back to the front. There's Nemechek. His car has worked well for him, but he just hasn't had quite what he needs. He can get in position, but he hasn't been able to. He can get the car turned in, but it just doesn't seem to run off the corner. He's been off the pace just a little bit today.
For the moment, up in front, Strickland seems to be drawing away. There's the 51 car, Mike McLaughlin. Having a pretty good day. Has won here, as we mentioned earlier, on 3 previous occasions. Now look at that lead. The interval that is being developed, just these 4 laps by Hut Strickland in number 92. Is Busch Grand National Racing just as intense as Winston Cup Racing, Hut?
Well, you know, it's intense in its own way. You know, you got the big sponsors that you got to please and everything like that, and we're really thankful for them. And, but, you know, here you don't have any points. You just go out and race as hard as you want to. You know, you don't have to concentrate on that. So that's kind of neat in itself.
Stanley Tools, number 92. Those folks are going to be thrilled right now as he continues to build himself up an advantage of about 20 car lengths over the second-place man, Morgan Shepherd, at number 21.
Morgan has been able just to kind of reel him in the longer they ran. This car, like I said earlier, just didn't get quite a good jump on the starts, but here's a big battle in third position with a lap car right in the way.
Tracy Leslie 72. Got himself a lap down. McLaughlin's number 51, Robert Presley, in the 59, throws the block on Jimmy Hensley. He was not going to let Hensley move around him, put him in the box for that lap car. Hensley in 59 closes on McLaughlin.
Right behind here, there's Presley in the 59 car. Jimmy Hensley right here in this 25 is closed in on these two guys. He's had the car in the past and was able to go right to the front.
Mike McLaughlin, 51, is third. The 59, fourth, and the 25, Hensley, fifth.
Presley trying to get up this car. Looks like he's up beside him now, going down in third turn.
Presley in the 59, winner of 3 events this year, makes a little bit of a hole. Mike McLaughlin trying to shut it down, but he can't do it. Already there is Mike McLaughlin.
Hensley drove right in there with him.
On the outside, Hensley gets that inside lane. McLaughlin doesn't chop it, just gives him the room to let him go through.
He's got to get in and close it up now because here comes Labonte behind him.
6th place, Bobby Labonte, number 44. Behind him in 7th is Bound. There's your leader. Continues to be Strickland's race.
Hey, Red Sox fans, haven't you waited long enough? Isn't it time you spent the week of your life at the 10th Annual Red Sox Fantasy Camp? If you're over 30, you can live and play with your favorite Red Sox legends from the past 50 years. Join us for 2 camps next February in Winter Haven, Florida. Call the Sox Exchange for a free brochure at 1-800-989-CAMP. Your own field of dreams awaits you.
Tom Hanks for Nesson. Take one.
This is Nesson and the Red Sox. Boy, they're in a league of their own, aren't they?
Nice try, Tom.
They're in a league all by themselves.
Take 3.
They're 20,000 leagues under the sea. Nesson and the...
Hello.
Am I promoting my movie here, or am I trying to get viewers for the Red...
You get it, Tom.
So anyway, Nesson and the Red Sox, they're big.
Well, that's cute, Tom. Thank you, people.
Get an insight to the stars with the Sharp Sports Interview, hosted by Ann Liguri. Today at 5 on Nesson, your ticket to the best in sports.
Hut Strickland's big advantage has vanished. Morgan Shepherd is back, knocking on the door. That's the rear door of the trunk lid. Morgan continues to press for the lead. Strickland stays first in the $360,000. But 171 laps are now completed, the 300 to be run. Those are the top 5, and look where Shepherd is now, Neil.
Coming off the second turn, he drove the car almost up beside him. It's like, as we were talking about earlier, the car comes to Morgan. It's getting better and better as the longer he runs. And Morgan usually sets the car up that way. He's good about setting the car up where late in the race it gets better instead of going away from it.
Here's Dick Berger.
Ken, sometimes racing confuses even me. I thought experience was supposed to be important in this game, yet the guy leading this race, Hut Strickland, had never run here before, not even a lap. Here's his crew chief, Tony Lambert. This is his first day ever as a crew chief. He said, ask me a simple question, so I will. You having fun?
I'm having a ball. It's the first time I've been here, so it's the first time I've been anywhere with Hut as far as a crew chief, and I'm having a great time. I give all us running up front to all these guys, and Hut's driving his heart out.
Well, he knows how to handle the questions on pit road for sure.
Hut Strickland from Calera, is that right?
Calera,
Alabama. Where's Calera?
It's about 15 miles from Hueytown. Does that help you any?
That's just over the border from Bessemer, right?
Birmingham is one of our suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
Hut's got his hands full now with Morgan. His car's coming better and better. Morgan's got just enough down the inside that he's making Hut really be protected of inside line. And just as soon as I say it, he says, I'll try the outside one time.
Nipping away at the outside. Here comes Morgan Shepherd back. Hut Strickland has 16 years in racing. What do you do in Calera?
You race on the Busch circuit. You leave Calera and come out here and race, huh? No, it's a great little town down there. There's a lot of industry in that part of the country.
Well, here's Hut Strickland, big Reba McEntire fan, having a wonderful afternoon. You'll have to have her write him a song if he's knocking him down like he is right now on these laps. Look at him do this job. Remember that great race he had with his cousin-in-law, Davey Allison, up at Michigan last year?
Finished 1-2.
Yeah, finished 1-2. Good racer. And they pulled out. They've got a big advantage. 20 cars still in the lead lap. Take a look at those two and see how far back it is to third spot. The interval is pretty dramatic here. It's a whole straightaway between the first two, and Presley running third, Jimmy Hensley in the 25 and 40. 2 and 8/10 seconds. And there's Hensley going right up through. Thank you. He knows he's got that TV time, and he's just going to push on through.
He says, I need a spotter on the side of this car. Let me wait till the camera's looking, and I'll pass this guy.
Sure. Jimmy Hensley back to third, and the Alliance car, Robert Presley, now finds himself in fourth position. Fifth on the field is still the 51 of McLaughlin. There is Jamie Obey running a lap or two down, runner from the Green Mountain State. The old Green Mountain boy not having a good afternoon. He took a provisional start. Behind him should be McLaughlin. There is Mike McLaughlin in number 51. And that Oldsmobile's having a fine ride. What a good racer McLaughlin is. Originally out of Waterloo, New York. I believe he now lives in the state of Connecticut. And behind him in 6 flags, Bobby Labonte running in 6th position. It's not too far back, 7th for Bobby Labonte, and there you find Chuck Bound, who's had 2 second places in a row. Chuck squirreled away 7th position for the moment in car number 63. And Joe Nemechek currently 2nd in the standings, number 87. Nemechek is 9th at the present time on the field. Take a look here. There's 75. That's Butch Miller. He's in 10th spot, and here comes Morgan Shepherd on the pit road. What's this all about?
Well, I don't think this can be scheduled. They just had too many cautions. He must have some sort of problem when they're coming this early.
Jeff Burton's running in 11th, and 12th is Tom Peck. Billy Clark is 13th, and Tommy Houston's in 14th. There's the 21 car, Morgan Shepherd. Up at lap 179 is when he came on pit road.
This part of Davey Allison's crew interchanging the tires. They got the two crews together working on it.
Trying to give Morgan some help to keep him in this thing. I think there's some strategy here. Didn't look like they did too much. They did a little adjustment.
They got the tires changed real good. They looked like they had a problem with the fuel. It took quite a while to get it in there.
22 and 2/10 seconds. That's lap 180. You really think they might go home from here? Here's Dick Bergen.
Problem was he ran it out of gas, believe it or not. Just came in dry. They got the fuel in it, and he's off again. But I don't know. He shouldn't have run out of gas that early.
No, the last time they stopped, they must not have got it full. And it took so long to put it in. Maybe they have a little bit of problem putting fuel in the car.
So Hut Strickland stays in front. That'll move Jimmy Hensley up. And we've got a car blowing an engine down at turn number 1. Big time. Car number 68 goes up. Martin Truex out of New Jersey. His Pontiac, the Ling racing car, pulling down to the inside. Disadvantage certainly goes to Morgan Shepherd on this one, and the advantage to everybody else who's still out there. So we have another caution. Mark it down as the 12th. Is that the 12th of the afternoon? 11th. One away from a record in cautions.
Eagle One Wheel Care products are exclusively recommended by the world's leading wheel manufacturers.
That it? 1 second, son.
To achieve superior results,
Now? Don't be so impatient.
you need superior tools. Since 1843, a company from New Britain, Connecticut, has bbeen helping people do things right.
Okay. Try it now. Finally.
Stanley.
All right. You know, someday these tools could be yours. How about the car, Dad?
Stanley Mechanics tools at leading retailers.
He wonders if I even noticed that visual perfection produces unbelievably deep, rich, glowing color. An intense, dazzling, brilliant shine. I do. Visual perfection by Eagle One, the ultimate auto polish.
Leader in the pits. He's 18 seconds into this pit stop. It's a 4-tire change. He's got 2 more rights he can put on before this race is over, but we're on lap 182. This could be it for your leader, Hutch. A good pit stop for 29, 30.14 seconds for Strickland. 4 tires, all the fuel he needs to go all the way.
Lap 184, actually, Dick Berger, when he was in there, working lap 185 at the present time. That gets them in range of these 6s to go home.
Well, we heard them say earlier they thought they could go 112 to 115, so it's going to be real close.
But Strickland has taken the gamble. You don't really believe they're going to run the rest of this race without another caution. They are at the 11th caution of the day. The record for this race is 12.
But that's the way it always goes. Just as soon as you say, well, they've had 15 cautions or 20 cautions, and if we're bound to get another one, then sometimes they go green the rest of the way. It's hard to tell.
Food Country car. Butch Miller is back on pit road in number 75, and that does not look good for the Coopersville, Michigan campaigner in the Food Country USA machine. There's another runner like Dick Trickle and Musgrave. And I couldn't understand why he didn't catch on in Winston Cup. He drove for Travis for a bit, and that just didn't seem to work. You've seen him on short tracks and know all of his experience. He certainly builds great cars. He's a wonderful racer, but something didn't happen.
When he was running ASA in that type of racing, he was almost unbeatable in those type cars.
Well, bad luck for Morgan Shepherd. He lost a lap when he pitted, Neil, and now he'll have to struggle to just get the lap back, much less go up there and fight with the rest of them.
Well, he's got plenty of time. He's still planning cautions, if there's cautions, this, that, the other, but if he can get up there and move to the outside and take advantage of that pullover and, being a lap down to get to the outside, he's got a chance to get that lap back.
Well, if you're just joining us, that is Morgan Shepherd. He's been one of the dominating forces in this 300-mile race at the 1 mile New Hampshire International Speedway. But he came in for a caution, came in for a pit stop just before a caution, and it's put him a lap down. Meanwhile, all the gunners are up there in that same lap. There's the indicator from the field. 1 lap and you will be racing. And when they do, leader will be, let's see. I saw Jimmy Hensley pull up in there.
Hensley's leading the race now.
Jimmy Hensley should be in first as they come down.
Robert Presley's in second place, Labonte third, and Nemechek fourth. Now Morgan was capable, he was able to move to the 3rd car to the outside line, so he's really going to have to try to go right here to get those laps back. But the one thing he's got going against him is the leaders, all of them put on 4 tires in. The guys that save the tires back, and now's the time they put them on and go the rest of the way, so everybody's got good fresh tires on the cars.
Part of the gathering here in New Hampshire for this Grand National race, of which there are 2. The second one coming up in August. And a bit more about that later on. There's the break. Jimmy Hensley with the advantage, and Presley right along with him into turn 1. Tracy Leslie's number 72, still hanging on the outside, trying to get a lap back. And there you see a move on the outside. Kenny Wallace, last year's winner, is going for it.
Well, see, they put that nose on the car. We saw him all go, just fall back and fall back and fall back. And they put the nose on, even though it's not the right one for the car, it corrected the problem in the front. And here he goes, checking out on it. Got to really use some patience right here. The car is real quick. He's been strong all day long, but he's got a lot of cars in between, lap cars, that he's going to have to show some patience and work his way around.
Bob Dragons, number 71. Caught up on that one.
chopped in a little bit more than it was before or not. But check. There's a couple of cars leaning on each other through the middle of the corner.
45, Jason Keller.
That's what I'm talking about. Now here's Bud Strickland, who's leading the race. He's got cars directly in front of him, and they were mixing it up a good little bit. He's got to try to be aggressive enough to get around him, but be ready for anything to happen. A pack of cars like that could take him out.
Was leading the race. Now he's got to come fighting his way back up.
Yep.
Jimmy Hensley in front. Robert Presley in second. And third is Bobby Labonte as they peel off down the back straightaway. Joe Nemechek is going to find himself a fourth place out here. Mike Stefanik is going to be fifth. Great run for that 74.
There was Chuck Bound along
Bound,
with
63.
Bodine getting around some cars.
Well, we're close to 2/3 distance. After 175, we'll give you a rundown on 40 cars on the field. And pulling away, this car here is running one lap down. It had led, it had set on the pole, it had won here a year ago. This is the car they crashed. Remember, they took the nose off, they took the tail, it won here, then went on up to Indianapolis and got destroyed. They put it back together, and that little car went right back out and won at Martinsville.
I'll tell you, these chassis shops have got the ability to, as long as you don't damage the center of the car, the roll cage, right at the firewall, and we call them clips, from the front of the firewall, from the rear seat, they can cut that thing in two and put new ends on it in the car just like brand new.
We'll give you that full running order in just a moment. We've got a spinner. Another car down. I believe that might be the 22. Is that Jeff Derry's car? Yes, indeed. Jeff Derry has spun the Norwich, Connecticut Oldsmobile Derry Associates, and there is no caution. It landed on the inside. No yellow coming out. Free and clear of the racetrack. They keep this one going. I'll take a look at Morgan trying to get that lap back.
Yeah, that is for the lap. The 36 car is a lap down out there. Now Morgan is back on the tail end of the lead lap. If the caution should come out right now, that puts him right back in the hunt.
And the question that we need is, or the answer we need is, how many cars remain in that lead lap with Morgan Shepherd just moving up? We'll get that for you in a moment. We'll be back with more at the New Hampshire International Speedway, where Morgan Shepherd has just bulleted himself back up into that lead lap. 21 cars running the lead lap.
General Nutrition has a key to help unlock your body's potential. Open the door to maximize a new you. Help push your workouts to new levels of performance. With Twinlap Gainers Fuel 2500, get 2,500 low-fat, high-powered calories per serving. No other gainer can match it. Gainers Fuel 2500, get the key to help unlock your body's performance. GNC, the authority in sports nutrition products.
Eagle One Wheel Care products are exclusively recommended by the world's leading wheel manufacturers.
Hi everyone, I'm Benny Parsons, and welcome to NASCAR Video Magazine. In every volume of this collector series, we're going to take you for a close-up look at the world of NASCAR. In a way it's never been seen, and can't be seen anywhere else. We'll take you to the front row of the action, and spend some personal time with the sport's biggest names. We'll go behind the scenes to the shops to reveal the latest breakthroughs in the world's most competitive race cars. We'll meet the unsung heroes and key personalities of the sport. And NASCAR Video Magazine will capture timeless moments from the past. Our team of top journalists will be bringing the entire NASCAR lifestyle roaring right into your living room. And I get to share some war stories with 7-time Daytona 500 winner Richard Petty. Okay, let's get to it.
To order your first 60-minute NASCAR video, call now 1-800-847-3300. Use your credit card and get the special introductory price of only $9.95. Call now 1-800-847-3300.
$197, 198 laps are now in the book. And it's Jimmy Hensley out in front. And look at this battle further back for 4th spot. That's Chuck Bound and Bobby Labonte going at it. The 44 car around going into 3rd. Chuck Bound back to 4th. And here comes Bound right back again.
Yeah, this time of the race, they don't want to give anything up.
Right in there's the 34. That is Bodine as well. Up in the 2nd, Hut Strickland. He's wound his way back up through the field. This struggle right here among these, Robert Presley is in 3rd. This is the fight for 4th. Down to the inside, number 63. Bobby Labonte, number 44 on the high side, and he has it for the moment. And the 34 is Todd Bodine.
Looks like Labonte's car is able to get out in the corner better, and Chuck Bound runs from the middle of the corner out better. Labonte's able to go in a little bit deeper into the corner right here. At 200 laps, 2/3 the distance, 200 miles. Look at this. Here's Bound back. Now here comes Bodine to the inside. 3 wide in the back straightaway. Bodine pulls way high. And the 34 of Todd Bodine slips beneath him. Todd Bodine pulls up into 5th. Here's Dick Berggren.
Joe Bessie is behind the wall right now. He's been back here for about 15 laps, and you heard it. The engine just fired. They've been working feverishly on this motor. They're putting the window net up. He's going to go back out. Poor Bessie had a real chance to win here this afternoon before the engine problems, but he's not going to give up. He's going out again, too.
Joe Bessie's number 9 being rolled back out. Meanwhile, on the track, the 44 and the 34 for 4th spot. Bobby Labonte and Todd Bodine. That Bessie pit stop was 19 minutes, 21 seconds, Neil.
We were just watching as they came off the corner that we saw Todd Bodine give a little tap to Labonte in front of him. Here's a 25 car leading the race, but Hut Strickland is all over him. And Hut has came from the rear since they put those 4 tires on. He's been flying through the field.
It's only the 8th time that Hensley has been out here in a Grand National ride this year. Has no wins on the season. Of course, he has a lot on his career. 9. Hut Strickland, who's never won a Grand National race, slips down the inside. And the Stanley Tools, number 92, goes back in front. Black flag is in the starter's hand down below.
Yeah, I was looking at that. It almost looked like it was the 21 car. It is the 21 car, Morgan Shepherd. We'll see smoke coming out of the back of his car, Ken, and they put the black flag on it.
There's Morgan back into 3. Let's see what happens. Remember, he has made up a lap. A lot of smoke out of that car number 21 as it comes down toward pit road.
Boy, that's a shame. He just got back around in position to get his lap back, and then he had a problem. And the motor's running too good for it. Must be a leak or something, because the motor was still performing well enough that he's out in front of the leaders.
Well, he had a transmission leak yesterday in the morning. They worked some to get that all sewed back together, and it worked just fine. It has until 2/3 the distance. He's made up a lap. They're going right to work to correct whatever it is that's been abused out there on car number 21. He's only been here one other time and did not have a good finish. In fact, he wasn't around even at a third of the distance.
Yeah, it's another one of those deals where you just got to keep digging around and fishing around trying to find what it is.
Again, here's Dick Berggren.
Well, they're trying to figure out what this is, Ken. Most of the smoke appears to be coming from underneath the engine, from the engine itself, as opposed to the exhaust system. And that's not a good sign. We've got 4 heads in here trying to figure out exactly what it is. And as soon as they do get it figured out, they're going to try to fix it. Morgan, in the meantime, has shut the engine off. Probably the end of the day for Morgan, certainly in terms of his ability to win here.
So Morgan Shepherd, who was looking for that 16th Grand National win, is not going to find it today. How about this? Jimmy Hensley in the number 25 slips through on the inside and goes back into first place, Neil.
I'll tell you, Hut Strickland came from the rear, ran him down and drove by him, looked like easily, and here comes Hensley back to take the lead away. As Hut came through the field, he was so much faster than everyone else. But now, you know, Hensley just took the lead back. I don't know what the problem is.
The front of Strickland's car looks bent up, but it hasn't bothered him much out here. But certainly in the aerodynamic area, that 25 Hensley car looks a lot better as the Ridgeway, Virginia campaigner and the Beverly Oldsmobile stays right there. Strickland coming back on the attack another time, slips to the inside.
Inside line, 23. It will pull right on by him. There was Morgan back out running on the apron again. Yeah, and I see him taking it directly into the garage. If they have a problem there, that's hard to correct.
11 lead changes among 6 drivers. You saw it swap back there as Strickland put the 92 back in front of Jimmy Hensley. Hensley had such a good ride a year ago here, Neil. He ran second all day. He looked so strong, and then just moments before the finish, the engine went away on him. Was right down at the final nub of the race when it finally let go on him, or he'd have had himself a great victory.
Well, I'll tell you, these little 6-cylinder motors, they live off RPM, and the motor guys can get these things to where they're real close on being able to finish these races. After one of these races, these motors have to be totally rebuilt, so the fuse is just about the length of the race.
So we're down to 208 laps of 300 complete in the Budweiser 300 New Hampshire International Speedway. More shortly.
Mother's California Gold. Finest cleaners, polishes, and finish restorers. Carnauba wax protects and shines. Easy to apply, looks great.
California Gold. There's no shine like Mother's.
The baseball season is swinging into the dog days of summer, and the Red Sox find themselves in need of a late season surge. But if years past are any indication, you can never count out the Old Town team. NESN Sports Desk, the morning edition, will keep you up on the Sox bid for another late season run of the division title. We'll catch you up on those late West Coast finals, plus serve up all the thrills from the courts to the greens. So tune in every weekday morning, anytime between 5 and 9, and let NESN Sports Desk, the morning edition, bring you the world of sports. What do these major league stars have in common? They all shined in minor league all-star games. See the stars of tomorrow come out at the Double-A All-Star Game tomorrow night following Paw Sox baseball. On NESN, your ticket to the best in minor league baseball.
Lap 211, Hut Strickland, Pride of Alabama, out in front. The Stanley Tool car in first in the Budweiser 300. As he continues to lead over Jimmy Hensley, now running number 25, right back in there tightly in second spot, and Todd Bodine is in third. Following him, it's Presley in fourth, and the Ramble and Scramble is right behind Presley. There you have the 44 of Bobby Labonte and Chuck Bound in a good fight. They've been door-to-door here during that commercial break. And for the moment, it's Bobby Labonte's position once again.
That's the first 6 positions right there in line. 7th place is just 2 car lengths back. They're going to have a real tight battle right here now.
21 cars remain in the lead lap with 2/3 of the Budweiser 300 complete here at New Hampshire International Speedway with Dick Berggren and Bob Richards, Neil Bonnet alongside. I'm Ken Squire, enjoying a wonderful NASCAR Grand National race at this beautiful mile track. And speaking of Dick Berggren, he can speak for himself.
Right now, I'm going to tell you what, if Hut Strickland ever wanted to impress his sponsor, this is the way to do it. Your picture is Stanley Gens. He is the president of Stanley Tools. He is standing right in Hut's pit area. The company is in New Britain, Connecticut, which is nearby. And let me tell you, this guy is enjoying the race this afternoon. Think that Hut is going to have a hard time renewing this sponsorship, Ken?
You ought to check with him and see what he thinks of stock car racing as he watches this 92. It's going to be pretty optimistic right about now.
Well, let's do it right now. What do you think about this race?
We're really excited. It's the most exciting race we've been in all year. Absolutely great.
And right in your backyard.
Yeah, right in our backyard. We're New Britain, Connecticut company. Great to win at home.
Well, there's no mistaking the enthusiasm there.
It's a little way to the win, right, Bonnet? I mean, here we are, what, lap 214, and the way this thing has gone, he could be out of a sponsor the next 20 laps. Here is Hut Strickland staying up in front and really looking terrific. Here comes that battle for 5th once again heating up. Down goes to the inside, Bobby Labonte beside him. Bound seems so willing to always wait, but he's there, and he is not afraid to mix it up. Has a lot of patience, this guy in the 63, and for the moment he's up. Spencer.
That's Hensley up there.
Brother, Jimmy Hensley got way high, and the car got off its speed for a moment. Jimmy Hensley in 25, slowing down in turn 2. Now he picks it back up. Let's see if he's going to bring it in.
Now he's coming on around. When you mentioned Spencer, but that's the very thing Spencer said earlier. Ken, he said when you get high, there's no stopping it. He got a little bit out of line, got up there high in the track, got in the marbles, and couldn't get the car under control. He fell way back.
Well, here's that leader. Hut Strickland in the Stanley Tools, number 92, dominating for the moment as the second place car has a major problem. Not a major problem. He'd have had it in the wall, not Jimmy Hensley. Todd Bodine takes over in second. Presley goes to third, and the battle is Bound and Labonte now in fourth. Watch this as 63 and 44 are in a pretty good stride. Now watch 25 will come into your frame up here in the upper right.
They're going down the corner. All of a sudden, we're going to see Hensley. There he goes. He looked like the red car right there. They might have tapped each other. He went sailing up to the top, and it did a heck of a job to keep driving that thing straight to the fence. I think that was Todd Bodine that was right behind him, and they'd been really battling for a few laps, and they might have got together a little bit.
Well, for sure, that is not reaction. That's pure instinct. He knew what he had to do, and he had a split second to do it, and Hensley saves the car. So Strickland stays up in front. 27 car going another lap down. Ward Burton out of South Boston, Virginia, hasn't had much fun out here at all today. Bodine stays in second, Presley in third, then it's Bound, Labonte, fourth and fifth. Joe Nemechek in sixth. Mike Stepanek is in seventh. Jimmy Hensley now back in eighth, followed by Tom Peck in ninth. Butch Miller in 10th. Curtis Markham 11th. And it's Jason Keller in 12th. Billy Clark finds himself 13th on the field. And then the other Jeff Burton is in 14th. Tommy Houston 15th. Ricky Craven 16th. So the 92 has some breathing room. Can he bring it home? Well, we're going to know very shortly here in the Budweiser 300.
He wonders if I even noticed that visual perfection produces unbelievably deep, rich, glowing color. An intense, dazzling, brilliant shine. I do. Visual perfection by Eagle One, the ultimate auto polish.
The performance of a Chevrolet is determined by many factors. We consider volumetric efficiency, coefficient of drag, yaw damping, polar moments of inertia, induction velocity, camber, caster, bounce, rebound, thermodynamic load, slip angles, linkage arrangements. And at Chevrolet, we also take into account the EHA factor.
The cars more people depend on.
Of the big picture. There's a place for you in today's Air Force Reserve.
Welcome back to the Budweiser 300 here at New Hampshire International Speedway as we take a look at the Split-Fire mid-race update. Right now, Hut Strickland in his first ever appearance at New Hampshire International Speedway in first place. Todd Bodine in second. Robert Presley, the top money winner so far this year, in third place. Bobby Labonte and Chuck Bound rounding out the top five. As we look at positions 6 through 10, you see Joe Nemechek, Mike Stepanek out of Rhode Island right now in 7th place. Jimmy Hensley, Tom Peck, and Butch Miller. Well, right now, let's go back upstairs into the booth to Ken and Anil.
What are we showing? 234 laps on this thing?
224 right now.
224 up there. And we have Hut Strickland looking for that first Grand National victory. Closing down to put a lap on Kenny Wallace. Jamie Obey just making a quick pit stop and coming back out from the Busch Grand National North Series. They say they can go the distance on car number 92. And car number 38, falling back into the clutches of the leader, could go a lap down right now. The Dirt Devil car that's set on the pole for this race won it a year ago. Here comes Strickland in the black and gold.
Lap traffic right on the inside. Tighten things up in the corner. Since we gave that rundown just a minute ago, Chuck Bound has moved up into second. He's in second place right now.
Chuck Bound going into second with number 63. And that puts Todd Bodine, back to third spot. It'll leave Robert Presley in fourth, Bobby Labonte in fifth, and in sixth, Joe Nemechek. Mike Stefanik stays seventh. Butch Miller's beginning to show a little signs of life. He's up to eighth now. Here is Bound, right back where he's been the last two 300-mile races on this track. Second spot. Now you see Tommy Houston in the number 6 going a lap down. Hickory, North Carolina campaigner drops his Buick onto the bottom of the racetrack. He'll weigh himself another day. He's already come up with one victory this season, Tommy Houston. Came from 30th spot to win down at Hickory. It's always a tough racetrack to win on. Back to the great days of Ned Jarrett. Now there you see the 92. Strickland staying in first, and we'll take you back to a bit of the field here. Then Kenny Wallace, a lap, maybe 2 laps down at this point. Tommy Houston is pitting the number 6. Indeed, he's pulled in as we see Wallace go by. And he is running out of the top 20 at the present time. Look at Nemechek going under Bobby Labonte. Joe Nemechek, never a winner, could well move into the Busch Grand National point lead here today in car 87.
That took him, he was in 6th place, that put him up in the 5th, and he's starting to ramble a little bit now.
And look who's coming along with him, tagging right along, number 75. That is Butch Miller. He's under Bobby Labonte. So Nemechek pulls up a spot, as does Miller. At 6. Now that puts Nemechek in the 5th, and will put Butch Miller into the 6th position.
And they're right on the back bumper of Robert Presley, so that position's really tightening up now.
As you recall, coming into this race, Wallace was the leader. Nemechek still looking for that first win, consistently finishing Texas Pete people in race after race, gets himself ever closer to the top of the point standing scramble. And with a number of cars out here and the problems that Wallace has had.
Boy, there's Butch Miller trying it on the outside off the corner. Nemechek protecting that inside line, and Butch Miller just drove it right on the outside of him. See if he can make it stick down here. What he's going to have to do now, he's going to have to pass 2 cars. It looks like he's capable of doing that. Once you make that commitment to the outside, he had to go around the 59 also, and he drove right around him.
Great move by Miller. Gets him around Presley. Got him around Nemechek. So for the moment, Presley, and that's a car on Hoosier tires, that number 75.
Fifth place.
Take me down through. Hutt's on Goodyear's, right?
Yeah, they've got
Bound is on Goodyear's.
Yep.
Todd Bodine, I'm sure, would be on Goodyear's, and Butch Miller now up into 4th.
The two cars that we saw running good were Bessie and Butch Miller, the 2 on the Hoosiers that have shown up today. The rest of the guys are on Goodyear's.
Back to the leader another time as we follow Strickland down out of turn number 4.
Hutt's car is really going good. You know, they talk about the crew chief, had never been a crew chief before, and this is the first time they came to this racetrack. I don't know who they got their information from or what they did, but they really hit on a setup for this racetrack. 15
lead changes among 6 drivers if you're just joining us. There have been a total of 11 cautions thus far. The record for the most number of wrecks and use of equipment was 12 back in the first year of this event.
I'll tell you something that might have actually fell in their lap a little bit. This is the first time they ever came to this racetrack. You come here, the other teams have been here, and they enjoyed some success with their setups. They come back and run it. With the radio, we heard Grissom say he had to change his car totally. When you've been here before, you hate to give up on something that worked in the past. These guys didn't have anything to lose. They just probably came with something out of the clear blue, and it looks like they've hit on it.
Opportunity, if you're just joining us, to see this mile track. We're following Jamie Obie's number 41 and Tommy Houston around this mile facility.
Car spinning off too.
We got one that's loose and going into the wall in the back straightaway, and that now he's got it righted. Ooh, tight running the back stretch. There is no caution out. That's the 45. He's gathered it back up, and they're going to keep under green. He slid out of the second turn and all the way down the back straightaway for about 300 feet, spun it around, took it up to the wall, gets it gathered back up, and continues on his way. Jason Keller out of Greenville, South Carolina. He's out of the... Take a look at what happened to Jason Keller here.
Okay, he's coming up to the right side. He's already lost the car right in the bottom of the track, coming off the second turn. Watch the car come around, and it's going to go right out against the outside wall. Really not that bad of contact, but then it comes back around. Luckily, Rick Craven right here. I saw him coming a while ago. He made a move right at the last minute, keep from running into him at full speed.
Craven was running in 18th position.
Well, that Keller is not driving his own car. That, believe it or not, is a renter ride. He has leased that car from chassis builder Mike Laughlin for today and today only. And I asked Laughlin before the start of the race, what happens if this kid wads the car up in a fall? Did he have to pay insurance? Laughlin just laughed. He said, I'm a chassis builder. I can provide the cheapest insurance of anybody. Well, he almost got a chance to do just that.
Oh, yeah?
You know, we got to joke about that, but usually when you rent a car like that, there is a wreck clause in it that you'll repair the damage to it, and Laughlin's got a shop that can fix anything.
So, Strickland stays first. Going in second is Chuck Bound. Third is Todd Bodine with Robert Presley fourth. Joe Nemechek's in fifth. Stay with us for more of the excitement of the Budweiser 300.
Eagle One Wheel Care products are exclusively recommended by the world's leading wheel manufacturers.
Time. A boxer's biggest ally. A fighter's worst enemy. Time. In seconds, the brain is flooded with 1,000 thoughts. Time. Blink and it could be over. Go the distance and you could be champion. Prime Network's Pro Boxing Series.
Friday night on Prime.
The first-place Scranton Wilkes-Barre Red Barons swoop into McCoy Stadium tomorrow night for a dogfight with the second-place Paw Sox. Don't miss a minute of this live AAA action starting at 7, exclusively on NESN, your ticket to Pawtucket Red Sox baseball.
The 92 of Hut Strickland stays in front here in the Budweiser 300 at the New Hampshire International Speedway on a near-perfect day. Between 30 and 40,000 folks around here watching Chuck Bound and Todd Bodine in a good struggle for second spot. They keep having their own war out there. Then it's Joe Nemechek back and forth, looking further back. Mike Stefanik has found himself 7th place. Tom Peck. Notice that in this group, we do not see Butch Miller. They're now showing him a lap or two down. We had him up there, and he was running well and passing a lot of cars, but he's had some problems. And so does Chuck Bound in car number 63. Bound dropping back to 3rd. He had been in 2nd. Bodine is up, and he seems to be off his speed.
Yeah, he was in 2nd place, and he's falling all the way back. There's the leader out.
And the leader is in trouble. Car number 92 is slowing down. Hut Strickland, the Stanley Tools car, running very slowly.
I tell you, it makes you, I don't know, there's no smoke. You know, it almost looks like it ran out of fuel, but they said they could go the rest of the way. It must be electrical or something like that, because I don't see a lot of smoke or anything.
Let's go to Dick Berggren quickly.
I'm with Jeff Hensley. What is wrong with Chuck Bound's car?
I guess it's just 1992. We broke a valve or either a valve spring, but we're just, I don't know. We're going to try to ride it out and see what happens and see if we can't bring an SD Pontiac home. It's just one of those days, I guess.
These guys haven't won in a year. We'll get you the story on the rest in a moment.
Here is the 92, Hut Strickland, pulling onto pit road. He has been the leader, and it looks like it could be terminal. He's running very slowly as he eases in. There's a 50-mile-an-hour limit. He's only going 20 or 25 as he brings the car to rest on pit road.
See, they're going under the hood. It's not fuel because they're going to go in the hood and see if they can find the problem. He's going in the window, and that's usually that electronic box that's in there. The electronic ignitions, I mean, when they're either on or they're off, there's not much you can do with it. And they're under the hood, you have to change the coil and all. Inside the car, you change the electronic boxes.
All right, let's go to the pit center as they continue the work here on Hut Strickland, the Stanley car. Find out what happened to Morgan Shepherd.
Thank you very much, Ken. Yes, I am with another one of the big names in this Budweiser 300, Morgan. I understand some problems with the oil tank.
Well, they did. First of all, you know, we run out of fuel. Our guys misfigured our fuel mileage, and that cost us a lap, but we made the lap back up and was coming back again, and we developed a crack in our oil tank. And I'd like to say thanks to our sponsor, High Tools, and Sitka.
Well, minutes ago you were out running with the leaders. Who do you think looks strong? I'm glad I asked you now. You might have said Hut Strickland a few minutes ago, but who do you think looks good the rest of the way?
Well, of course, Hud was strong, but I'd say Jimmy Hensley, he's probably the next car. We just have to wait and see. The racetrack is changing. It was changing in our favor. We was getting better and better as we went. I'd like to say hi to my wife, Sandra, and her Chanda back home.
Great. Thanks a lot, Morgan.
Bye.
Morgan Shepherd out of this race, still smiling. Been there. Here's your leader. It is Todd Bodine in number 34 settling down in here. That's Butch Miller right in front of him. There you see Hut Strickland just sitting there in car number 92. What a disappointment after such a brilliant run as he has executed here at New Hampshire International Speedway this afternoon. 16-year veteran from Calera, Alabama. Looks like the day is over as he reaches for the cap, has the helmet off. For Todd Bodine in the Hungry Jack car, this could be the greatest moment in his career today as he has the advantage. Now by 7 seconds over Joe Nemechek in second spot. Jolton Joe, the kid from Miami who started out with a Mazda. He built up to do a little road racing, then found out he liked stock cars better. He's up to second. Now here's the third place car. Robert Presley, the only three-time winner of the season. He's on pit road for the final stop. At lap 247, Presley is on pit road. Here's an update from Dick Burton.
Well, this is about a $35,000 or $40,000 distributor cap. This is what just came off Hut Strickland's car. See all that pink inside? That suggests a lot of electrical activity was going on inside this rotor, this distributor cap, and eventually it just broke. When they break like that, well, that's sayonara. The engine just shut off, and as I told you in the earlier soundbite, he's not in this for the points. He was here to win. This cost him the win, so they're going back in the garage. What a shame. 36 grand.
Indeed, they're rolling back. Car number 92. Down pit road comes Hut Strickland's car backwards, being pushed by, not the motor, but 5 of the mechanics on the Stanley car this time. It heads back to the garage area and home after giving some 40,000 people a wonderful afternoon of competition. So we're down to the last quarter of it. 250 laps are about to be completed by this man. Can he stay there till 300?
Splitfire earned a United States patent. Splitfire doesn't look like any other spark plug. And the patented Splitfire doesn't work like any other spark plug.
5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs. Quicker in the quarter mile. A 4.8% gain in mileage.
There's nothing like a Splitfire. You'll get more power and more mileage, or your money back. Get the guaranteed Splitfire advantage at leading automotive stores from coast to coast.
Fact. Only one magazine is the best source for auto racing news. On Track. Fact. Only one magazine covers Formula One, Formula 3000, IndyCars, Trans Am, IMSA, NASCAR, and more every 2 weeks. On Track. If you want 100% auto racing, call 1-800-825-8214 now and get 1 year, 25 action-filled issues for just $29.97. Call On Track now and get the facts.
The safest, most advanced paint care product available is Clear Care, made especially for new cars. Clear Care safely removes oxidation, road film, and other dulling contaminants. Carnauba Wax protects your car from rain, snow, and and blistering sun. So before you take your baby out for a spin, dress it for the weather.
Another conversation with Kojak about late-night TV.
Lieutenant, about Johnny Carson.
How come that name makes noises in my head?
He retired shortly after you started on TV 38.
Did he at least leave a note?
You mean you doubt his reason for leaving?
I mean, what for? What's in it for him? Kicks?
He's been on TV 30 years. You think your show scared him off the air?
Yeah, why not?
But you got a crazy idea like that.
Right in here.
Kojak, weeknights at 11:30 on TV 38.
1991 Grand National Champion Bobby Labonte pulls back on the track after an 18-second pit stop. This happening at lap, is that 253 or 63?
253 right now.
253 on the board as car number 44 comes back out. Todd Bodine's that was the third place car when it pitted. So that's going to drop him on the tail end of that lead lap. We have 10 cars running the lead lap.
You know, we just saw Robert Presley pit. We just saw Labonte go in. Let's go down to Dick Bergman and see if he can find out about Bodine, if he's going to have to come in or not.
Well, they'd like to know that too, Neil Bonnet. They're not sure. I just talked to Clyde McLeod. He is the crew chief. He said it's a very close call. If they do pit, it'll be for fuel only. They are out of tires. They've used their allotment. On the other hand, second place car, Nemechek, his crew chief, Dick Kangas, says they must pit. He cannot make it the rest of the way. However, they've got an ace in the hole. 2 outside tires, brand new, sitting ready to go on that car for the final run. What an exciting finish is shaping up here.
So you have Todd Bodine out in front. Here he is, the 28-year-old who won earlier this season at Nazareth, Pennsylvania in the Hungry Jack Chevrolet. He's out in front. The question is, will he or will he not come on pit road? Nemechek is going to strap on fresh rubber, and he will be a hellion on wheels when he comes out. Hensley is pitting the 25. Now take a look at what happened to Todd Bodine just moments ago under heavy traffic. There's the 08 Bobby Dotter.
They got together right there.
Chicago's Bobby Dotter getting slammed out there. The interval between first and second now spreads to 9 9/10 of a second. Hensley is down, and he is back underway. 16 seconds on Hensley's pit stop. Lap 256, where he's on pit road. So Todd Bodine, currently 6th in the point standings, can make a big jump today. He's just behind Jeff Gordon. He can overcome Gordon, who's had major problems this afternoon with the Baby Ruth car. So Todd Bodine, who came into this race in the 13th qualifying position, looking for his 3rd Grand National win, looks very strong at the moment. But Hut Strickland, now look at 59 closing in. That's Robert Presley.
He just pitted.
He just pitted.
He pitted, put tires on, so this actually puts him back in the lap.
Looking a little further back for Joe Nemechek at number 87 in that second position. That's him coming out of turn 4.
There we go, the yellow car. Nemechek right here.
He's from Lakeland, Florida. Qualified for this race in 33rd. Still looking for that first win. The Texas Pete Chevrolet is looking very good at this point. A lot of the leaders, the strong runners, have had problems. Allison is out. Strickland has gone away from this one.
Nemechek made the statement, their crew, that they're going to have to pit. They can't go the rest of the way. Todd Bodine pitted at the same time as he did earlier, so the question is how far they can go on fuel.
Chuck Bound, who had second the last 2 outings here in New Hampshire, he's had problems. Kind of running this one out now.
Yeah, he's on pit road right now, and they're pushing him back towards the garage.
Well, that looks like
finally
the end
stopped on him.
On the Nescafe car. Meanwhile, for the moment, here's the 34, scooting around, getting up toward 260 laps this time by as he laps North Haverhill, New Hampshire's patent gas car for Stub Peck. The interval is now 11 seconds as Todd Bodine tries to run off and hide from the rest of the field.
The only thing he can't hide from is that fuel mileage. That's going to be, I don't think there's anyone out there right now that can beat him or anything, but the problem is, will the fuel mileage beat him?
He's had a great run of recent over at Watkins Glen. What a great show that was when he came home second behind Ernie Irvin on that beautiful 2.4-mile road course. Here's the leader coming out of 4. That's number 34, the leader, Bodine, and here is second place coming around. There's second place up there in 3rd and 4th turns, so it's more than a straightaway. Almost half a track back to Nemechek in 2nd spot.
Big lead.
Who's in 3rd? about that number 8? That number 8 right there, that's third, and that's the battle on the racetrack. Jeff Burton in the Oldsmobile, and the 36 is slowing down. Wallace, the pole sitter, in trouble. That looks like a Navy terminal. We'll get back to follow that battle between Burton and Nemechek. Take a break right now as we get down to the final moments of the Budweiser 300.
Now, a coast-to-coast savings event, the biggest in our history. Announcing the National Jeep Sale at your Jeep and Eagle dealer. Save over $2,900 on the rugged Jeep Cherokee, or up to $900 on the freedom-loving Jeep Wrangler. Now, the vehicles that fit in anywhere fit even better into your budget. So hurry in today, because while our vehicles know no limits, our sales do.
Get the advantage at your New England Jeep and Eagle dealer now.
Excuse me, do you know what stock options are?
I wish I did.
The information you know you should know is in the Wall Street Journal's video guide to money and markets. This exclusive 30-minute video is free. When you call for 13 weeks of the journal for just $37, that's over 20% off the newsstand price.
Call toll-free 800-336-1111 for 13 weeks of the Wall Street Journal and your free video on money and markets. That's 800-336-1111.
Every week, the Coors Sports Forum presents interesting and intelligent guests discussing what they know best, sports. So join host Al Troutwig this evening at 5:30 for the Coors Sports Forum on Nesson, your ticket to the best in sports talk.
For Todd Bodine, it's a love affair with mile tracks. He won his first Grand National race, Dover, Delaware, 1991, the Monster Mile. Then, 1992, he won his second race, Nazareth, the mile. And now here at New Hampshire, he's closing in on yet another victory. New Hampshire International Speedway on this beautiful new facility, third annual Budweiser 300. And for the moment, it's Todd Bodine's with an interval of 13 8/10 of a second. And the question mark is, there's the second place now. And that is Burton. And let's take a look at how Jeff Burton was able to acquire second place.
Here he goes, driving under Joe Nemechek. He got him at the start-finish line, going down the corner. Here's Labonte coming in the picture. I think Labonte, that pit stop is a lap down. That's second and third, and Labonte is trying to get back up there in the lead lap.
Showing 6 cars in the lead lap at the present time as Labonte continues to fuss and fight his way around this track. But the leader is Todd Bodine, the youngest of those 3 racing Bodine brothers these days. And the Burton gang out of Virginia, they're looking good. Now look at number 74. What a story we have with this car. There was a guy who's done a lot of modified racing over the year, and Mike Stefanik has given this car an excellent run. Unofficially, 74 had been shown in 7th position just recently. We're waiting for confirmation on exactly where he is, but he's going to be in for a top 10. There is no question about that. There's the 9, Bessie, out there in the Auto Palace car, which gave us a lot of great racing at the mid-distance.
Yeah, Bessie lost several laps when he went behind the wall and worked on it. He's ran good all day long, but that really cost him.
Well, let's meet the man who has been the star of the show till now, Hut Strickland.
Thank you very much, Ken. Hut, once again, a lot of attrition out there today. A lot of the leaders falling off. What do you think's causing it?
Well, I'm not really for sure. You know, our deal there, we had a rotor button break or a distributor cap break. I'm not really for sure what caused that, but, you know, that's just racing. You know, it's just a shame. You know, the Stanley Tools team and everybody on the team really worked hard today, and the car was running really good. And the setup was good, and, you know, that's just racing.
As we head into these last 25 laps or so, who do you think looks strong out there?
Well, right now, you know, Todd Bodine is looking real good. You know, I'd have to go with him right now.
This is your first trip up to New Hampshire International Speedway. What do you think of the track?
I'll tell you, I'm in love with it. You know, it's an awful lot like Phoenix to me. You know, I really long for the day when the Winston Cup cars come up here and run.
I think all of New England racing fans feel the same way, Hut. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Back upstairs to Ken and Neil.
Bob Richards at the pit control center with Hut Strickland. Neat-looking guy and a fine racer. Here is Todd Bodine staying in the first spot with number 34. You saw Nemechek pit in the number 87 as he worked on his first win. He's had a second on 4 occasions, Neil, and then he's backed up again. He's on the tail end of his lead lap. So we have Bodine first, Burton second. I believe we have Joe Nemechek, Curtis Markham, and then we have Tom Peck, Curtis Markham, and Nemechek in that order in the front 5.
Boy, Bodine's got to be sweating this out. He's seen everybody else racing with him except Burton come in and pit. He's having to stay out there. Like I said, he doesn't have any more tires to put on the car. His big concern is fuel, and he has enough.
Well, here's where we are. We're 271 laps deep. Down to those final moments on this mile track for Todd Bodine. Biggest payday of all in Grand National ranks. Second biggest of the season. Biggest for him for sure. As he starts to put a lap on the number 45. Jason Keller. $360,000 in the pot this afternoon. And will the biggest bowl go to Todd Bodine? We'll find out, and find out real soon.
He wonders if I even notice that visual perfection produces unbelievably deep, rich, glowing color. An intense, dazzling, brilliant shine. I do. Visual perfection by Eagle One, the ultimate auto polish.
For every athlete who trades months of training for a moment of glory. For those who have a dream to break out of the pack, take the challenge, and be the best. And for all that see the path to victory as a lifelong adventure, we salute you. Prime Network, we deliver the dream.
Memphis, California Gold, the finest cleaners, polishes, and finish restorers. Carnauba wax protects and shines. Easy to apply, looks great.
California Gold, there's no shine like Mother's.
Remember how we were discussing that lead was almost 12 seconds? Todd Bodine leading 25-year-old South Boston, Virginia campaigner Jeff Burton. Throw that away. Burton's closing in. It's down to about 8 seconds, and he's closing on every lap. There's your leader, the youngster Todd Bodine. Now look for the black number 8. Here he comes, the TIC Financial Oldsmobile. Jeff Burton is definitely closing ground. Is there enough time? There's 24 laps remaining for those leaders. 24 miles to decide. $360,000. Here's Dick Burton.
And as the race unwinds to the very tail end of it, there's a lot of drama happening here on pit road. We reported a few moments ago that Joe Nemechek promised he had to come in and take another fuel stop. He did not make it to a caution. He had to come in under green and take fuel only. He didn't even get a chance to put on those 2 right-side tires he was saving. His opportunity has gone away. Burton, as a result, inherited second spot. Burton is in good position fuel-wise. His crew says he's got a 10-lap margin on fuel, and recall that Bodine, who is in the lead, his crew chief says it's iffy as to whether he can go all the way.
The best 1992 finish for Jeff Burton was at Dover, Delaware, on that monster mile, when he came home in second spot. He owns 2 Grand National career wins. Will it be number 3 today for Jeff Burton? Or will young Bodine persevere out here on this mile? Great battle between a couple of youngsters you're going to be hearing more about for many years to come in American motorsport.
Burton has gained about 5 seconds in the last few laps. That's probably a combination of him knowing he's got to really pick the pace up, and Bodine knowing he's got to be conservative on fuel. He's probably rolling out of the throttle a little early, trying to save as much fuel as possible, but he doesn't have a lot of cushion that he can work with.
It's down to 7 9/10 seconds now. That number 59 is running in third, the Alliance car, Robert Presley. Here you see the 19. That's running with Tom Peck in 4th spot. The McConnellsburg, Pennsylvania campaigner is having just a remarkable afternoon. We haven't given that car enough credit. Let's give it a call now. Peck is just doing beautifully in this number 19 as he continues to roll it out. Butch Enders, the crew chief on that one. They just stayed on the radio, kept it smooth and easy. You can see him float the car a little there in the corner. But for Tom Peck, this is going to be a heck of a finish. Curtis Markham is in fifth. Bobby Lombardi is being shown one lap down. In sixth spot, Nemechek in seventh, the lap down. And in eighth, Stefanik, followed by Jimmy Henson, ninth, and Bobby Dragon, the number 71. And there's the 34. Bodine weighs this one out, 20 miles to go. 20 laps remaining for Todd Bodine. And trying to get a lap back, right here comes the number 44. They'll wave him through Bobby Labonte. Bobby Labonte underneath and taking that lap back, and there's second spot, closing all the time, is Jeff Burton.
Burton's car has gotten better all day long. The first of the race, he wasn't on the pace like he needed to be. He just got better and better as the day went on.
There's the 34, and just moments ago, going down the backstretch, 44 blew by him, and already has about 5. There you see, 3 car lengths. But 44 is definitely very quick here.
Ken, what you try to do in a situation like this, you try to get your pits to calculate how much you can give up each lap. Bodine's trying to save fuel right there, and they're telling him, hey, you got 8 seconds, you're down to 7, so they'll either tell you to slow it down or pick it up. He's going to try to give up that lead he's got and swap it for some fuel mileage, and you got to be pretty smart to work it the right way. I'm sure that crew is really figuring how much time they can give up and try to save some fuel.
So Bobby Labonte has made up his lap, and he now rides on the tail end of the lead lap in 6th place. Joe Nemechek is a lap down in 7th. Bobby Labonte having a very good run. Here is the 71. Now there is Bob Dragon. Great runner from Vermont. He has a brother named Beaver. It's down to 5 and 9/10 seconds now between first and second spot. Bobby Dragon in that 71 is putting a lap on Bodine. He has an older brother named Beaver. And Beaver Dragon is one of the legends of New England racing. This Bob Dragon is a tremendous driver. Been around for almost 20 years, but his brother Beaver, I think, raced since about 1902.
Well, I tell you, it's easy to see right now that Bodine's doing all his stuff. He's trading out some track position for some fuel. He's willing to back off the pace and try to stretch the car in, but he's letting his 8 car get really close to him.
Jeff Burton is closing ground, moving ever closer to number 34. We'll give you that interval another time as Bodine continues to lead. And let's take a look at that interval between first and second as Jeff Burton. There's no reason to hold back for him. He's going to let it all hang out. There's second spot. Coming up out of the hole, out of turn 4, Jeff Burton, the Ridgeway, Virginia driver, cuts it to 4 and 7/10 seconds. A man on a mission. 25-year-old South Boston, Virginia campaigner Jeff Burton closing on young Bodine. Jeff Burton finished first at Radford, Virginia. Disqualified. Technicality. Still looking for that first 92 win for himself and his car owner, Filbert Martucci. Martucci used to field cars for Bobby Hamilton back before his Winston Cup days. Here's Dick Burton.
I'm with Clyde McLeod. He is Todd Bodine's crew chief. What's the matter? You're getting eaten up out there.
Well, he's got the brake pedals real low. Got them hot. We ain't got much brakes, and we're trying to conserve some gas. So he's just riding it out nice and easy.
Riding it out nice and easy in first place, and hope those brakes hang on. This is definitely a brake track.
How are you with it? Richard Petty, I always thought was the master without brakes. How are you without brakes, Bonnie?
I needed 8 sets of brakes in my car. I always ran too far down in the corner.
4-second interval now is the number 8. Jeff Burton closes in on a helpless Todd Bodine, now running without any brakes on that Hungry Jack Chevrolet. Back for the finish in a moment.
Anything you can handle, we can handle. Yokohama High Performance Tires.
Racing fans know nothing can match the speed, power, and action of NASCAR. The best drivers in the world pushing 200 miles an hour in heart-stopping racing excitement. And nothing brings you closer to the action than the NASCAR video collection. Each one-hour cassette takes you behind the scenes with exclusive footage you won't see anywhere else. Get an insider's view of the developments in America's fastest-growing sport. You can start your NASCAR video collection at this special introductory price of only $9.95. Other cassettes will follow about every month for the regular price. There's no obligation. Cancel anytime. Join the NASCAR video team now. It's the inside track to America's ultimate motorsport, NASCAR.
To order your first 60-minute NASCAR video, call now toll-free 1-800-248-9100. Use your credit card, get the special introductory price of only $9.95. Call now 1-800-248-9100. That's 1-800-248-9100.
10 laps to go. Twilight time on the Budweiser 300. The question, is it twilight time for Todd Bodine? It's now 3-second interval between first and second. And it's almost a second, a little less than a second a lap. That is being made up. Interval is shrinking on every lap as continuing to close. Jeff Burton attempts to run down Todd Bodine in the waning moments of this $360,000 Grand National race. Here you have Todd Bodine from Chemung, New York, just in front of Ridgeway, Virginia's Jeff Burton.
Boy, he's getting within shooting distance now. You know, we're coming out this time, there'll be 8 laps to go, but there you can see it. They just crossed the finish line, and there comes second place right in behind him, so he's really closing in on him. If Todd has a little bit of brake problem, it can hurt him bad on this side of the racetrack.
But what poise he is showing. Remember, this track is all straightaway, hard braking at both ends. As we mentioned earlier, it's a larger version to some people of Martinsville. You can run too deep all around, but you use up a lot of race car here. Bodine by 1 9/10 of a second now between first and second spot, as ever closer moves the man in black this afternoon. 25-year-old Jeff Burton. He qualified in 2013. And there you see, once again, leaping forward, taking back several more car lengths. That TIC Financial Oldsmobile of Jeff Burton.
Yeah, he's reeling him in. What that does for a driver, that driver, second place, gets to sniff in that lead. He starts running harder.
Look at this battle for fourth. There's the 44. That is Bobby Labonte. He's in there fighting with Tom Peck in the 19. Peck having a great race. Tommy Houston going a lap down in the 6 car as they continue their struggle a little further back. In third spot remains number 59, the Alliance car of Robert Presley, the 3-time winner on the 1992 season, having a great afternoon as well. The leader with 6 to go. And there, yeah, you see the car just swirling for a moment. That costs valuable car lengths as Jeff Burton continues to close.
He's within about 8 car lengths of him now. But what might be a problem for Todd right now, he's got that lap car in front of him. If he doesn't have the brakes that he needs, he can't crowd that guy and get around him.
Jeff Burton has had a 7th and 9th place finish as we get down to 5 to go. Ooh, almost using up the back. Oh, he's in the wall. Yep. Car number 34 sliding. You could see him bouncing off the number 7 car with no brakes, trying to get that thing around. Curtis Markham got caught up by him for just a moment, and going out in front is Jeff Burton. Jeff Burton in car number 8 now assumes first place down to the final moments.
That was that brake problem. He got in there and he couldn't get the car slowed down. We were just talking about he's going to have to go around a lap car. Ran in and he couldn't get the car slowed down, and it just slid out from under him.
With 4 laps to go, he's won in 1990 at Martinsville, 1991 at South Boston. Will he score again here? Jeff Burton is leading, and for the moment, Todd Bodine is still gingerly tap dancing his way around this 1-mile asphalt with no brakes. Watch this.
See, he's in there, no brakes, and the back end starts around on his car, and he couldn't get it slowed down. He has to drive up the track. See, the wheels turn to the right. It's just like being in the ice or snow out there, and he's got to work the wheel a little bit, and it bounced off. Well, he's lucky he didn't have more problem than he's got now. Looks like it knocked the rear end over to the left a little bit. The car's probably not as good as it was before.
But he got it off the wall and kept on going. And that, remember, was at over 100 miles an hour. Talk about a graceful piece of driving under extreme duress. But for the Burton crowd, now it's their turn to get real nervous. While you're chasing them down, there's plenty of excitement. Now that turns around and the butterflies get as big as owls. 298 laps are complete. Jeff Burton goes into turn number 1, looking for that third career win. Here's Jeff Burton. His dad has 2 sons. They're fine racers. He's brought them along. Very proud of them. They're from South Boston. They were track champions at that great little track in South Boston, Virginia. And now here is Jeff Burton within moments of getting a checkered flag to give him the greatest win of his career. White flag is down, and there's 1 remaining. Jeff Burton eases into turn number 1.
Bodine's out of gas coming down the front straightaway.
Bodine really slow as he hammers it into turn number 1.
Yeah, he's out of fuel. He's shaking the car around.
Out of fuel as he goes down in the back straightaway, trying to find anything to bring that car home. Meanwhile, down the back straightaway. And maybe getting a push here from someone. Yes, indeed. Someone's going to help him across. Here comes number 8, Burton to the line. Butch Miller is pushing the 34 down the back straightaway. And Jeff Burton has won in the Budweiser 300. A little bit of assist, I believe, from Butch Miller. Probably just ran out of brakes himself and tapped him to move him along. So the win belongs today to Jeff Burton. What an amazing win.
You think they're not happy?
It's an 11 3/10 of a second victory over Robert Presley in second. Todd Bodine will come home, we believe, third. Tom Peck in fourth. More from New Hampshire in a moment.
Eagle One Wheel Care products are exclusively recommended by the world's leading wheel manufacturers.
Got it? 1 second, son.
To achieve superior results,
Now? Don't be so impatient.
you need superior tools. Since 1843, a company from New Britain, Connecticut, has been helping people do things right.
Okay. Try it now. Finally.
Stanley.
All right. You know, someday these tools could be yours. How about the car, Dad?
Stanley Mechanics tools at leading retailers.
The safest, most advanced paint care product available is Clear Care, made especially for new cars. Clear Care safely removes oxidation, road film, and other dulling contaminants. Carnauba Wax protects your car from rain, snow, and blistering sun. So before you take your baby out for a spin, dress it for the weather.
Get a new thrill every week as the American adventurer takes you from the bottom of the sea to the wild blue yonder. Tuesday night at 6:30 on Nesson, your ticket to the wilder side of sports.
Well, Jeff Burton here in Victory Lane, trying to get his hats on, trying to take a drink. 23rd to 1st. What a long run. Is this the furthest you ever won from?
Well, I think it is, but you know, we came from 23rd to 1st about 4 times. We broke our airline there, and then we had a stud break on the right rear, and it just seemed like every time we got going good, something would happen. And this team kept working. They work every week so hard. I knew if they kept working as hard as they were, and I kept trying as hard, and the car on the field kept putting forth the dedication he was, we'd be in Victory Lane.
Did you know about Bodine's brake problems?
No, we didn't. We knew we were catching him, but we didn't know if it was because of brakes or because of he was trying to conserve the gas, or if we just were better than he was.
Hard race today?
Yeah, it was. You know, this is a long day here at New Hampshire, and I'd like to thank Bob there and all the people for putting on a good show and paying a good purse, and all the people in New Hampshire are really great to come up here and visit because it's really nice up here.
especially when you win.
So, you have a new winner at the New Hampshire International Speedway, and you have a new point leader. Joe Nemechek has taken over there. More on that story in a moment.
It's convention week, so exercise your right to vote for the comedy convention on TV 38's Movie Loft and bring the party home. Monday, the convention takes off with Airplane 2, the sequel. Tuesday, may the shorts be with you in Mel Brooks's Spaceballs. Wednesday, Rosanna Arquette and Carrie Fisher taste sweet revenge in the broadcast premiere of a delightful romantic comedy. Thursday and Friday, the Red Sox double your fun when they take on the Minnesota Twins. And Saturday night, Burt Reynolds wraps up the comedy convention with two comedy greats, starting with Paternity and ending with The End. Vote for Laughs on the Loft on TV 38's Comedy Convention, beginning Monday night at 8.
Every week, the Coors Sports Forum presents interesting and intelligent guests discussing what they know best, sports. So join host Al Troutwig this evening at 5:30 for the Coors Sports Forum on Nesson, your ticket to the best in sports talk.
Let's take a look at the top 10 here today at New Hampshire International Speedway in this Grand National race. Coming across first this afternoon as some 40,000, we believe, leave. Jeff Burton, Robert Presley for second, Todd Bodine in third, Tom Peck in fourth. What a great run for Tom Peck. Bobby Labonte came home in fifth. Jeff Burton winds up a little for Curtis Markham winds up in sixth. It's Joe Nemechek for the seventh position. Mike Stefanik has 8. Bob Dragon came to ninth, and he made that last move with about 4 laps to go to get him up there. Jimmy Hensley in 10th. Let's go to the pit control center and talk right now with Bob Richards.
Well, thank you, Ken. I'm here with Kenny Wallace. Kenny, the pole sitter today, the defending champion heading into today's race. A lot of rough driving out there today.
Well, it got pretty tough. You know, Dirt Devil Ponic was trying to take the lead, I guess, around lap 100, and we had a run-in with the 9 car, and I guess the rear of his car was a little bit stronger on my nose because he took my nose off. But it made it hard to handle. Then we had some brake ducts drag, and I had to come in and, you know, get another nose on it, and then went back out there and took the lead.
Do you think the tire question came into play at all today? A lot of the North drivers not with a lot of time on the radials?
Well, you know, I don't know, you know, whether it be South or North, they're all good drivers, but that is one fine point. You know, they haven't run the radial tires at all, and so it came into play.
Great. Thanks, Kenny.
Oldsmobile gets its 7th win of the 1992 season here in Busch Grand National Competition. Today, the name is Burton on the top of the leaderboard.
Swing into the sounds of your life. Big band and beautiful music on WPLM, FM 99.1 and AM 1390.
Got him. It's going to be caught. Pitcher, Roger Clemens. Wade Boggs, number 26.
How are you, sir?
Bingo! And he struck him out. The 2 on to win the game.
Oh, mercy.
The first-place Scranton Wilkes-Barre Red Barons swoop into McCoy Stadium tomorrow night for a dogfight with the second-place Paw Sox. Don't miss a minute of this live AAA action starting at 7, exclusively on Nesson, your ticket to Pawtucket Red Sox baseball.
Well, Todd Bodine had been leading this race until he ran out of brakes and pounded the wall at about 100 miles an hour. How frightening is a thing like that?
Well, the thing that scared me the most is I didn't want to run into Curtis Markham. He'd run smooth in front of me, and I just wanted to stay out of him, and I got in there a little too deep. If he wouldn't have been there, I probably would have made it, but he was there and slowed up, and I had all I could do just to keep from hitting him, and I had to get up a little high to not hit him, and it just slid up in the wall. And you know, I hated the Hunger Jack Chevrolet was flying. We were just out there riding when the brakes started going, and you know, there's nothing you can do. This place is hard on brakes, and we knew it. It's just one of them things that happen.
He's one of so many that thought they were going to win today, and we'll be back with more from the New Hampshire International Speedway right after this.
The technology developed on the track for the awesome 650 horsepower Lumina NASCAR champion goes into cars like this. The 1992 twin dual cam V6 Chevy Lumina Z34. Sorry, decals not included. Chevy Lumina Z34 from the heartbeat of America. And now it's easy to win with a heartbeat.
5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs. Were they talking about this one or the patent-winning split fire? More power? You decide. Put a leading European spark plug up against split fire. More direct firepower means more horsepower. 5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs. Split fire. More power or your money back. Get world-class split fire performance at leading U.S. retail stores nationwide.
The Faces of Prime Network, a collection of expressions revealing the game's hidden truths, concentration, and determination, the will to win, and the strength to never give up, even when defeat is staring you down. It's pure joy and satisfaction of overcoming insurmountable odds and complete frustration after coming up short. The Faces of Prime Network. It's where you really see the game.
The Budweiser 300 has been brought to you by Eagle One Car Care Products. Eagle One is visual perfection. And by Chevrolet, the heartbeat of America, the cars more people depend on. Well, Jeff Burton has done it. He's won here this afternoon, and when this race is over, it looks like Joe Nemechek has taken an unofficial 18-point advantage in the Grand National standings. And as you look at these finish results, we understand that that number on Todd Bodine's car may have been taken down a few spots because of being given some assistance on the last lap. So that's the story today. A new winner, and it is Jeff Burton. They're going to be celebrating tonight in South Boston. For Dr. Dick Berggren, for Bob Richards, and for the great Neil Bonnet, I'm Ken Squire. Thank you so much for spending some time with us to enjoy the Budweiser 300 at the New Hampshire International Speedway.